Do not worry.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Do Not Worry stream. I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you live from the heart of Lebanon in the 09. It is 5:34 p.m. this Wednesday afternoon. You could say evening. How's everybody doing? I was going to play some Lego. Build some Lego tonight, I think. Wasn't sure. But last night, as I was on Twitter, I got tagged by Clipping Wings. The only clippers that ever clip me. Thank you, Clipping Wings. We appreciate you. We appreciate your work and your efforts. And it was like, hey, look, like there was like a clip of like Hutch and Ethan Klein on the phone. Apparently there's like a 30-minute phone conversation. So folks, we are going to watch and react to that conversation between Hutch, a fellow Hasan hater, and Ethan Klein, a full-time Hasan. I mean, they're both full-time Hasan Piker haters. And I tried to find, like, if anyone had clipped it, if it was anywhere on YouTube, I couldn't find it, to be honest with you guys. Let me see if it's up there now or something. So I did something kind of unforgivable, but, like, you know, I had to get you guys the content you so desired. Hutch, Ethan Klein. Let's see. All I could find was clips. Oh, is that it? Oh, he just posted it himself. God damn it. I paid for a Hutch Twitch subscription, folks, because the video is only accessible. Like, you could only watch his Twitch replays if you're a subscriber of his. I'm like, oh, you could, like, I barely use Twitch, so I'm like, sure, I'll subscribe. I just won't pay. And then, lo and behold, I paid $6 to get access to that call, and now he has dropped it on YouTube as it is. Look at that. Look at that. For you content goblins. So I could have totally avoided paying it, folks. I didn't have to support the man, but we've supported him. I've had to pay him some of my hard-earned Lebanese dollars. So, yep. But anyways, we're going to watch that together. We're going to watch it on Twitch just because I paid for it, okay? We're going to enjoy that. We're going to watch it uncut, unedited by his hands. But yes, it's sad. It's sad to have to pay for it, but whatever, you know. Hutch, not the paying isn't the problem. It's paying Hutch. That's the problem. That's what's sad. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. A lot of members in chat. Hello. And speaking of a lot of members in chat, yesterday was a wild night for members, yo. We got 43 new channel members yesterday. Shout out to everybody who gifted memberships yesterday. It was wild. People like Cedar Down Under, Haley. Who else? A bunch of people were slamming gifts yesterday. Sashi. If I forgot anybody, please let me know in chat. Samsung slammed us with a gifted. Rusher became a member, if I'm not mistaken. So, wild night for memberships yesterday. So, to our lovely members in chat like Rusher, Honk Big, Samsung, Raimi Winter, Villamina, Bacon, and Megs. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome, welcome, everybody else as well. Politics McG. How's everyone doing? Arnian. What is it with this? 1 second. Let me expand this a little bit. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Looks okay. I need to get a haircut, man. I desperately need to get a haircut. Hope you guys are doing good. Don't forget to like the stream if you're watching live. Click that like button. Spooky Boys here. Hello, hello. So if you guys want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member. It is a great way to support the channel. You guys have access to exclusive live streams. Sometimes when I'm just working on my PC during the day, I'll just turn on a live stream for members. I did that a couple times this week. It's super fun. It's super chill. We have a nice time over there. Especially if you're Australian. Those are always a good time. Let me thank some more members like Ashley Yokes, Dasha993, Chrissy Henderson, Fa Q9, Anchovy, Lally Jill, Bassam, Ex-Marine, Joel Lockie, Del8767, Attack of the Hank, Tilly Parks, Pixel Planes, Butch Shrek, and the Astro Ass. Thank you guys so much for being members. We appreciate you, whether you've been a member for one day and have been gifted a membership, or you've been a member for months and have been paying for memberships and gifting memberships. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for helping us do this over here on a consistent basis. Much appreciate. Also, patrons. Bad Pierogies, hello, hello. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing good. Don't forget to like the stream, everybody, if you're in here. And subscribe to the channel. Those are the most helpful things you could do. Forget being a member or patron or super chats. Like and subscribe, baby. The classics. Also, to our beloved members, patrons such as superhero patrons like Fadi Mac, Claudia Khawla, Ahmad Bani Buns, Muhammad Mroueh, blonde patrons like Bertram Balk, Matthew Bax, Eric Knudsen, Rosarium, Tufik Fakih, Linda, Lalong, Mario M, Janazo, abductee patrons like Alia Judge Comics, Eric Skidmore, Selena, Francis, Mother's Milk, and Dizzle McFizzle. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for supporting us. Patrons now have access to Karine's episode 2 of Fantasy Board Review, where she is discussing and reading Morning Glory Milking Farm. Our very own Karine, folks. It's an 80-minute video where she reads and critiques. Did I delete the picture? Did I delete the picture? Finally, is it gone? It might be gone, folks. I don't have Morning Glory Milking Farm anymore to show you. I don't. Jose Kelly, hello. Brew George, good morning. Hello, everyone. Okay, so let's get into, we got some minor topics to talk about. So yeah, as I said, members, patrons, we love you, appreciate you. You don't have to be a member to support the channel. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment if you're watching the replay. If you're watching us live, hop into the live chat, say hello, hang out with us. Also, if you guys are a little nerdy and you're like me, you like video games, or you like building Lego, and more precisely custom Lego builds, your own clone army perhaps, consider subscribing to my second channel, Tino's Playroom, where I'm currently playing Dark Souls 2. I'm 1 or 2 live streams away from beating it. Marina, hello, hello. I'm also currently building a custom Star Wars mock. Got my own little clone army that I'm assembling. Got some Jedi Knights, got some clone ships. Gonna be putting it all together over the next few weeks for this epic, big piece. So you can track my progress over there. I'm gonna hit that link in the live chat. Bang, bang. Consider subscribing. Trying to get to 1,400 subscribers, folks. 1,400. We're close. We're like 11 subscribers away. So consider subbing. That would be nice. Anyways. And I might be streaming there later tonight. So if you guys are bored, you just want to watch me game and struggle or build some Lego, I'm not sure what I'm going to do later. Come say hello. Okay, we're going to a few updates on some things we talked about yesterday and a couple days ago. A little bit of Hasan, some updates on Hasan, what's going on, all that Backlash, a tiny bit of Mark Ruffalo, and then we're going to jump right into the Hutch and Ethan Klein conversation. I'm not going to make you guys wait very long. Okay, it's already like a 30-minute conversation. It's going to be like an hour-long reaction or so. This might not be the longest stream of all time, but we hear streaming, folks. We hear streaming with a vengeance. Okay, starting with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's been beefing with Hannah Einbinder, I always forget her name, and Matt Bernstein, and then Madeline Somerville. So he's been basically questioning people's, let's just go to the whole thing. So Matt Bernstein posted Hannah Einbinder's words, her words of support for Mark Ruffalo, basically saying like she's grateful that Mark Ruffalo drew a connection, blah, blah, blah. It's not anti-Semitism. It's essential to talk about the genocide in Gaza, all that good stuff. Matt Bernstein shares it by saying, reposting Hannah's words because I couldn't have said it better. Ben Shapiro reposts that and says Hannah Einbinder is about as Jewish as a ham sandwich. And the dude quoting her is a queer Jew with long nails. He, they. If you believe that these people represent Jews or Judaism, then you believe Madonna represents Catholics and Catholicism. That's what Ben Shapiro said. So he's questioning people's Judaism. Who's the right kind of Jew? Who can represent Jews in general? Are you Jew enough? Are you man enough? So he's also, questioning his masculinity by, being kind of homophobic, but queer Jew with long nails, he, they, just being a fucking dick in general. So then Matt Bernstein kind of responded to him, etc. Then Madeline Somerville quote tweets it and says, how about me, Ben Shapiro? I went to Orthodox Jewish day school just like you. I went to Emory for undergrad. Sorry, I went to Emory for undergrad and for law school. The Jewish Vanderbilt. Am I Jewish enough for you? Matt and Hannah each has more courage, talent, and Seychel, that's Yiddish for common sense, by the way, than you and your entire company of journalists have combined. And you know what the most ironic thing is about this comment? How deeply un-Jewish it is. To forget that we were told right at the beginning of Bereshit that we were all created Bezlem Elohim, and we should treat each other that way. Fuck off and quit teaching people to be hateful while we're out here busting our asses trying to do the opposite. Well said. Well said. Haley's laughing at underage. Underage what you guys were saying? What kind of place is this? For underage whats? Then so let me see, it did pretty well, 6.4k likes, you know what I mean? She did good. But then Ben Shapiro went for her as well. He said, "You're certainly not Jewish enough for me, given your craven, pathetic defense of a despicable piece of shit like Hasan Piker." Holy shit, man. The guy's got it out for her. Everybody's got it out for Hasan now. That's the easiest way to score points online. Just fucking shit on Hasan Piker. What can I say? Annoying. Haley says Ben Shapiro has never been more irrelevant. Yeah, no, right. It's like the Daily Wire. Hey, guys, you're questioning the Daily Wire movie. Come on. There's real hype behind it. People are excited, you know? We're going to watch Jonathan Majors run around a college campus shooting terrorists in the face. They're going to be like, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, ba-bam, ba-bam. It's going to be fun. Come on. It's going to be a big one. And streaming straight to your homes. Don't got to go to a theater to watch it. I swear I'm going to try to find a way to watch that movie and like get a reaction. I'm going to film myself and we're going to get someone to edit it in a way where I don't get copyrighted. You know, it's going to be fucking good. It's going to be good. So yeah, Ben is still going after people, still going after Hasan. And just a little tiny Taylor Lorenz update. I know we've talked about Taylor Lorenz twice already, and I'm not here to cancel Taylor Lorenz. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe I'm just no longer a fan. And we've been covering her why I left the left arc. She's turning, she's starting to pivot. She's already all over Twitter like, I hate leftists. Leftists are crazy. Leftists are too parasocial. What is this? It's a purity test. All the typical why I left the left stuff. We're seeing the turn, and this was interesting. Vanguard shared this screenshot. So Taylor said, I don't know what the online left hopes to accomplish by dogpiling everyone who doesn't comport with their extremely narrow social media-driven worldview. It's absolutely deranged, just no moral consistency on any level, and they'll lie all day about anyone they don't like. Brianna Wu, of all people, folks, replies and said, a decade of this is what turned me into the Joker. It's literally like a villain origin story. Hello, Taylor. Dude, get my throat is fucking fucked, dude. Just he's fucking. I did 2 live streams yesterday, one for members and one in the evening. I can already feel my throat drying the fuck out. I had the honeys before. I had a big spoon of honeys. So yeah, I mean, Taylor is, you know, she's starting to now. She's been posting some pro Hasan stuff for like the past day. So maybe she's trying to chill off the whole AI thing, but like, damn, dude. She got Brianna's approval. She got her blessing to make the turn. Taylor Lorenz, you are ready. By the power invested in me by Anna Kasparian and Gillian Michaels, I now pronounce thee a why I left the left. Everybody liked the stream. Yes, yes. Oh, there we go. The 4 horsewomen of the why I left the left apocalypse. Okay, so we got Anna. Who else? Taylor. Who's this person? Dasha. Brianna. Let's see. Let's see what happens with this whole situation. But yeah, Taylor, we wish you the best. Okay, just don't yell at me in chat or anything like that. Don't yell at me in the comments. Political polls. We're gonna switch to Hasan real quick, and the Hasan derangement syndrome overtaking American media. Isn't that fun? You turn on the news and everyone's busy talking about Hasan Piker. The world is on fire. And they literally like have 4 questions to ask candidates. What do you think about Hasan Piker? Should trans women play sports? They're obsessed with that, dude. Should little girls be allowed to play sports with other little girls? Okay. Can we say the R word again? And what else? What other hot button issue? Oh yeah, what do you think about Sharia law? Are you kidding me? So, multiple Democratic politicians spoke out against Hasan Piker today. Alyssa Slotkin, Josh Gottheimer, Jackie Rosen, Hakeem Jeffries, and Richie Torres. Traitors. Obviously, a lot of those names are expected. Slotkin, absolutely. Hassan Nabi Productions says Fox News has now covered Hasan Piker 5 times more than the ongoing Iran war for the month of August. Hasan Piker was mentioned 224 times. Holy shit. And the Iran war was only mentioned 44 times. The Iran war has cost U.S. taxpayers over $150 billion so far. Dude, this is how they distract people. Oh my God, man. It's nuts. 224 times. Hasan Piker. Like, hey, I get it. The guy's successful. I'm not trying to say, like, you know, of course, he should be a topic of conversation from time to time. He should be a pundit on TV. He should be out there debating a lot of these fucking so-called experts and, you know, challenging them on their ideas and trying to influence these old fucking boomers from time to time. He should make more TV appearances, I think. He should get on mainstream media a little bit more and, like, defend himself, not let them just dictate the narrative because they have control, man. Again, I always say that. When Fox News and CNN and all these mainstream news organizations talk about Hasan, they're talking about him to like a bunch of boomers who don't know any better. So they're like, who's this Hasan guy? Like, they don't even understand Twitch or Twitch streaming or anything like that. So they get to shape their opinion about Hasan Piker exclusively. And they're not gonna tune into Twitch to fucking hear what Hasan has to say about the situation, you know? So you should get on there a little bit more and do a little bit more, you know, schmoozing with the media. 224 times, that is fucking nuts. And not to mention, like, CNN, they're just talking about Fox News. I've seen countless clips of people on CNN and CBS and Joe Scarborough and all these fuckers and Jake Tapper, all obsessed with Hasan. It's not just Fox. Every single network, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, basically anyone aligned with Israel, anyone Israel aligned, anyone adjacent to Israel is just shitting on Hasan Piker. They just want to discredit him, discredit anyone who has similar politics, to be like, you see, this stuff isn't viable. It's too extreme. It's anti-Semitic. All that bullshit. So, below is a full transcript of Piker's remarks. No doubt, much of that some would disagree with, but there's no call for justification of violence. The opposite, actually. Which we know exactly what Hasan said. We don't need to read the whole thing, but I like this. The quote, it says, "I've never seen anything like this in my life. Every single part of the seats of power in both parties and the entire media frantically rallying around a defamatory accusation against a single person in the hopes that they can make him the symbol for anti-Israel sentiment, and by crushing him, crush all of us as well." And yeah, it's kind of crazy how everybody's coalescing around this. Everyone's coalescing around this, kind of as if they all get paid by AIPAC. Kind of like they all have the same donors and they answer to the same people, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. Now, that's not to say that Democrats and Republicans are exactly the same and that electing a Republican president isn't, you know, more harmful than electing a Democratic president. But when it comes to things like this, they're kind of the fucking same, you know? I zoned out for a second. I just remembered something fucking amazing that I wish I could buy, but I can't. Can't justify it. Just staring at these Lego in front of me. Sophia loves monkeys. Hello. Here you can see that it's basically just another coordinated attack. You know what I mean? Again, they got their talking points from AIPAC. Let's go, everybody. Throw out the tweets. It's the same as when someone talks about Israel, you get all the Israel has a right to defend itself. I believe that we should stand for a strong Israel. All the politicians with the same exact copy paste tweet. Same thing is happening here with Hasan Piker. Alyssa Slotkin's post in response to Hasan Piker's recent comments on Jews in America being targeted because of their views on Israel. This shouldn't be hard. No community should face the threat of violence for their political views. Period. That goes if you're pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, pro-choice, pro-life, blah blah blah. In a time where political violence and anti-Semitism has been spiking, and where just 6 months ago Michigan had a nearly deadly event of anti-Semitic mass violence at Temple Israel, no one should casually be suggesting that anyone, Jews or otherwise, are to blame for being targeted. Senator Jackie Rosen, again, says Hasan Piker has been trafficking in anti-Semitic tropes for a while. But even this is a new low, blaming Jewish Americans for the violence, and as if this old lady knows who Hasan Piker is. Like, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, she's just got her intern was like, lady, Miss Rosen, we got the message, we got the go-ahead from AIPAC. Let me just copy-paste this into your Twitter. Blaming Jewish Americans for the violence and hate they're facing is not just wrong. It provides excuses, or an excuse to those perpetuating these anti-Jewish hate crimes. Let me be absolutely clear. Crimes against Jews for being Jews is anti-Semitism, plain and simple. Okay, where did the guy fucking say to go attack Jews? Stop being fucking idiots and listen to what the man fucking said, you bad faith motherfuckers. Idiot. Senator Jackie Rosen. Okay, this guy, Brad Schneider, same shit. Ken Martin, same shit. Criticizing the policies and actions of the Israeli government is one thing. Blaming American Jews for the hatred, threats, and violence is something else. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So, I mean, yeah, it is very well coordinated. But these things tend to work sometimes. I don't know. I hope it's just like, I hope people are just exhausted about this. And I saw this tweet that I kind of wanted to highlight from now. I guess let's do it a little bit earlier. Here. Politics and Poll Tracker says Hasan Piker accuses AIPAC of calling Democratic members of Congress to orchestrate a smear campaign against him. And Adri says that he's correct. This shit is so blatant that even my 50-year-old mom can see this shit a mile away. She's annoyed with the constant Hasan coverage on CNN. So that gives me hope. That lets me know that a lot of people can see through the bullshit, even if they're still out there watching CNN, consuming this mainstream media garbage sloppity slop. They can see through it and like, hey, okay, why is the media just talking about this one fucking guy nonstop? So this tweet kind of gave me hope. I guess a lot of people are getting sick of hearing about Hasan. And that's a good thing, especially in this case right now. Yesterday we covered Abdul el-sayid basically throwing Hasan under the bus, putting out a statement, condemning the comments. It's like, dude, don't play into their framing. Don't play into their fucked up framing of this whole situation, painting Hasan as an anti-Semite, because as soon as you give it any credibility or any air, you're fucked, you know? And you've kind of just thrown the dude under the bus. Hasan's too nice to say anything about it publicly. I don't think he'll ever express any sadness. He'll be like, I understand why they had to do it, etc. He doesn't want to hurt the guy politically. He did his best to get him elected. And he had him on his stream multiple times, and like, Abdul el-sayid really benefited from Hasan. So for him to just, it says more about his character. Throwing him under the bus and putting out that statement says more about his character than anything else and any promise he can make on the campaign trail. Like, you see that he's selfish and he's just another Obama, you know, AOC type thing that, like, as soon as it's convenient, they'll get rid of you. Like, they're just there to climb the ladder. Once they get a little taste of that power, you know. Actually, I was watching the Lindsay Ellis video today on about Dolly Parton. Somebody mentioned it yesterday that she had made a video. She dropped it on YouTube today, actually. And she quotes someone. I forget who said that quote, but it says, power is not corrupting. It's revealing. And I think that's relevant now. Okay. We can close that tweet for now. So more criticism. Ooh, Guam had a take. Look at that. Guam. Hasan says, AIPAC boss call was made. They are unanimous in their hatred of me, and I welcome their hatred. If you're a defender of Israel's genocide, of its occupation, of its child killing spree, then your boos mean nothing to me. Awesome, you know. Great point there by Hasan. Of course, Guam, who much like Hutch, seem to only tweet about Hasan Piker. They only come out of their holes to tweet about Hasan. She quote tweets and says, they hate me because they're Jews. Interesting approach to the controversy, Hasan. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. How obtuse can she be? They hate me because they're Jews. It's like, it's interesting to see how far someone will go to willfully interpret something in the way they want to interpret it just because it fits their narrative, and they just hate the person, and they're going to hate them no matter what. They can't give them an ounce, not even an ounce of like of leeway. They just hate me because they're Jews. I have to like reread this. Like, what AIPAC boss call was made. They are unanimous in their hatred of me, and I welcome their hatred. If you're a defender of Israel's genocide, of its occupation, of its child killing spree, then your views mean nothing to me. Is it the line where it says if you're a defender of Israel's genocide? AIPAC boss call was made. They are unanimous in their hatred of me. Like, I don't understand where she got they just hate me because they're Jews. Jesus fuck. Okay, but I love the responses. Blow back your pedo boss. Ethan Klein supports genocide. You never mention the Gaza genocide. Why is that the case? Will he fire your okay, I'm not gonna read that. The rest of that. Uninformed leftist me. I really hate egg salad sandwiches. The girl with a lobotomy. Holy fuck. He just said he hates white people. He said AIPAC. He said Israel. He never once said Jewish people. You did. Do you know how many Jewish people disagree with the genocide? Have you asked? No, you treat them as if they're all one thought. That is anti-Semitism. He's talking about Jewish reps and reducing their criticism to being paid for by Israel. Yes, Jewish reps. The AIPAC people, okay, but they're not just calling Jewish representatives. You got Christians. Most of them are Christians that are condemning Hasan's comments. It's mostly Christian people. Anyways. She is the girl with the lobotomy. That's pretty funny, though. Chucky Bree says, so to you, defenders of Israel's genocide, of its occupation, of its child killing spree, is Jews kind of anti-Semitic on your part? No, it's his use of AIPAC as a dog whistle. Man, some people, when they learn the word like dog whistle, like you should unlearn that word because you don't know how to fucking use it. You never understood what it fucking means. You can't just throw the word dog whistle at everything and have it be true. It's a dog whistle. AIPAC boss call was made. It's not a dog whistle. They're the fucking donors. They're the donors. They're the ones who donate millions of dollars to these campaigns. They just hate me because they're Jews. Anyways, enjoy your life. The fact that you spend your time interpreting all this stuff like this and just making yourself angry, and she gets no benefit from it. She doesn't get even like good Twitter engagement from it. People just shit on her on Twitter. She just does it for the love of the game, I guess. And obviously she's getting paid for it by Ethan Klein now, so she did find a way to monetize her hatred of Hasan. You know? They're not allowed to do much on the show anymore because they're trying to salvage the views, so she just does it on Twitter and then gets shit on Twitter. I think she likes it, dude. It's weird. I've never seen anyone ask for it, like, to be shat on like this on social media. She gets some weird kind of enjoyment out of it. Hunter Biden has some nice things to say about
I turn
Hasan.
on these shows, and it's like a circular firing squad because they end up talking about Hasan Piker for 45 minutes. You know what Hasan Piker did? Hasan Piker is a live stream guy that has been doing it for I don't know how many years, and he has thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of him just feeling shit into a microphone. By the way, but at the same time, you know what Hasan Piker's done? He has created a little bit of a movement of a group of people that are absolutely opposed to the fascism of Donald Trump. And you know what? I want to tap into that. I don't want to opt out of it. I want to figure out with Hasan Piker whether or not we can find common ground and fight against the same enemy. Instead, what these guys are doing is he's a virulent anti-Semite and everybody's this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, and he said this about 9/11 and he said that. It's like, my God.
I don't hate Hunter Biden. You know, I know he makes some dumb comments about his dad. He's going to defend his dad at the end of the day, you know. But like, I like the Hunter Biden comeback, guys, okay? I'm a fan of the Hunter Biden comeback. Will he defend his dad? Will he, you know, look the other way when talking about like genocide in Israel and not talk about the fact that his dad was kind of the president when the genocide started? Like, you know, yeah, he will. But he's got some good takes. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, but he was on crack, guys. All those deals he made in Ukraine was on crack. You got to keep in mind the crack. Okay, let's watch some clips now. Apparently, there's like an hour of Hasan, or 80 minutes of Hasan talking about what happened to him. I don't think we have the time to watch the whole thing. And his streams are kind of like long-winded, so unless someone has already chopped it up and put it on YouTube, it's going to be hard to sit through the whole thing. But there's a bunch of clips here of Hasan kind of reflecting on the situation, and I just kind of want to listen to what he has to say.
Talked about in mainstream news every single fucking day. And yet, despite my accessibility as a media figure, I don't get to talk on my own. You can't just interrogate my views. You can't have an interrogation of my views. You guys had Max Miller on. You know what I mean? You have everybody on. I am such an odious figure that you can talk about me and clip me out of context, negatively frame everything that I'm saying, lie, outright defame, slander, smear. But you can't hear from me personally?
Also, he's kind of like talking about what I was saying. He needs to make more appearances on mainstream media. He needs to get on the news, get on Fox, get on CNN, get on CBS, interview these fucking people that are out there talking shit about you. But I guess they're not. I guess, is it Piers Morgan that's only trying to get him on? Piers Morgan, man. Again, the casting on there, the casting department, whoever's booking those guests for the Piers Morgan show, they know how to get fucking guests. And they're out there trying to get Hasan on every day. But Hasan needs to get his ass on like mainstream TV media, not Piers Morgan's bullshit internet show. He needs to get on the fucking news and talk to these boomers where they're at, because again, they don't know who he is. They don't watch Twitch. They don't watch fucking YouTube. They don't know. They listen to their favorite boomer, a newscast reporter, tell them that Hasan Piker is a scary Muslim who wants all Jews dead, and they're going to believe it. And they're going to be like, oh, this Hasan Piker is terrible. I'm voting for Mike Rogers. Like, that's really... So he just needs to get on there. They're going to see, look at that. He's a handsome man. He's making some good points. Okay. I'm gonna make the racist white man trope. He's he's well-spoken. Look. A Muslim who's well-spoken. He's so eloquent when he speaks. I thought he was going to sound like a scary Muslim man, but he's eloquent. He's buff. He's got big muscles. Ooh, and then look at that. The boomers are going to be on his side pretty quickly. Hasan can be pretty charming when he wants to be. So I guess that's why they don't want him on. I would have assumed that they would want him on because it would be ratings bonanza, just get the guy on. But he would make their hosts or their anchors look like idiots if they actually try to question him, because they're fucking robots who are reading off a teleprompter. But he needs to get his ass on mainstream television ASAP. But again, that he shouldn't be the conversation. It's just to get the shit off his back a little bit, but like, he shouldn't be the fucking conversation. The issue should be the conversation. Taxes, wars, stop the wars, stop funding Israel. People can't afford food. There's inflation. Fix your bridges. They're falling apart. Education. There's no funding in anything anymore. Trump is like repealing the Endangered Species Act. Like, all this shit there's a lot of shit to take care of. There's a lot of shit to take care of. So like, he shouldn't even be a part of the conversation, but like, they just want to distract people because everything is so fucked. And the Trump administration is so corrupt and they're fucking everything. And the Democrats are like bought and paid for by AIPAC and the Israelis. So it's like Hasan, he's bad. Look at him. Normally they do it to, like, they're doing to Hasan what they do to minorities. Instead of being like, look at the Mexicans, we need to get rid of the Mexicans, or look at the blacks. It's like, look at Hasan Piker, look at the Muslims now. Now it's the Muslims. It's back to the Muslims, folks. Black people, you had your time. Latinos, you had your time. Gay people, trans people, you had your time. It's time, the return of the Muslim/Arab hate. It's official. I'm calling it. It's back. It's back. There's a lot less. There's still a bit of transphobia happening in the media, I'll give the trans community that. I think the Muslims/Arabs, I got to include myself in there somehow, okay? They just assume I'm Muslim anyway. So I'm just going to call it the Arab hate / now the trans community. We're the ones getting it the worst. And Hasan is now the stand-in for, I mean, he's not Arab, he's Muslim. So yeah, it is more of an Islamophobia type thing. But you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's the minority of the moment now. We're the ones getting the brunt of this shit. Getting our asses kicked in. What can you do? Stand strong, Hasan. Carry the flame. Don't forget, even if they criticize you for singing the song, you got to carry that flame, motherfucker. That's what Charlie would have wanted.
You don't have an issue having Netanyahu on? It's deliberate.
Yo, shout out. We got Uma Palma in chat. Let's go.
But it's
Don't forget, everybody, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet. Here's another clip. Hasan talking about establishment pro-Israel Democrats.
the reason why you're seeing this uniparty approach is because every Israel First Democrat, every AIPAC Democrat wants to get rid of me. But they don't want to just get rid of me. They want to get rid of all of us. They want to get rid of the 90% of their base of the party that is demanding this change from the party. And that's it. And no one will say it. Obviously, even the new crop of Democrats can't say it because we haven't been able to build enough power internally in the party to come out and be like, the hell are we doing, Hakeem Jeffries, instead of addressing the fact that you're having private closed-door meetings with Jared Kushner? You're over here on CNN condemning.
Bat Pierogies, let's go. Welcome back to being a member. Let's fucking go, Bat Pierogies. Thank you for becoming a member and supporting the show.
Hasan Piker, how about you condemn yourself? They can't say that. That's why you have Zoran Mamdani the next day come out after the Jared Kushner saga, go on television and say, yeah, no, I endorse Hakeem Jeffries as the Speaker of the House. We don't have enough power inside of the party yet where we can actually move our weight around. That's just the unfortunate reality.
I think it's time to abandon trying to change the party from the inside and let's just fucking third party time, baby. Let's go. What the fuck is this? You got to pick between those or those fuckers. Like, no, 3 parties, baby. Let's go. Third fucking party, a viable third party. Dude, the Democrats are shit without leftists at this point. They can't win shit. All the younger people.
But that's precisely the reason why someone like myself, who is an outsider, who doesn't have to abide by the party line, who actually has
like just the anti-Israel, pro-Palestine movement alone should become a party.
His own perspective, who even at times will be critical of people like Zoran or even Abdul, okay, is a real threat. Because I am not beholden to any corporate entities. Guys, how like certain trends, certain metas are followed in mainstream outlets. About how
he never thought he'd be at the center of something like this. This is what this clip is about.
Much. Okay. I will tell you this. I understand as a part of my job, I understand how media narratives work. I understand how propaganda works. This is a big part of what I do. I try to explain to you guys how like certain trends, certain metas are followed in mainstream outlets. And there's this this united front approach that sometimes establishment media takes. I never thought that I would be the recipient of this. I never thought that I would be at the heart of this united front approach coming from centrist pundits, right-wing Democrats, the entirety of the Republican Party, in direct coordination with the GOP, as they attempt to undermine a very important Senate seat, that the Democratic majority in the Senate hinges on Abdul's victory. It is insane. Meanwhile, the week before this saw several stories about prominent Democrats publicly abandoning the vote blue no matter who.
It is pretty fucking crazy. We're getting closer, folks. We're getting closer to that Hutch phone call. God, I can only imagine. What happened to that David Pakman thing, by the way? What happened to David Pakman? Wasn't David Pakman supposed to go on the H3 podcast? They announced it. Did David Pakman back out? Was he like, if I don't want to deal with the backlash? I'm sure David Pakman fucking Fucking backed out at the last second, dude. Oh, that would have been gold. David Pakman on H3 just bitching about Hasan. He probably just didn't want to deal with the backlash, dude. He knew what was going to happen to him. He knew, man. David Pakman knew.
This and also the uniparty approach to purging Israel critique in the ranks of the Democratic Party, their attacks against me. I'll be honest. I'll keep it $1.50. I think people are recognizing what's going on, but I don't know what to do, man. This is how you lose to Tucker Carlson and JD Vance. Like, JD Vance is going to come out. Tucker Carlson is going to come out and be like, yeah, we are the anti-Israel party. You should vote for us. We're America first. And I think a lot of people are going to do that. If we lose, dude,
that would be fucking crazy. If the Republicans are running on anti-Israel, on an anti-Israel platform, and the Democrats are like, no, we need to support Israel no matter what, that would be fucking insane, dude. Are they saying Tucker Carlson is going to try to be JD Vance's VP? Is that what people are saying? Andrea Joan is in chat. What up, Andrea? Says, lol, I called Pakman backing out. I had a feeling he can't handle the fire. David Pakman can't like sit through like he could talk to Ethan and shit on Hasan, but he didn't want the backlash from Hasan fans, I thought. And I don't know, man. Like the fact that he even considered it. The fact that he even considered that shit is fucking crazy. Yo, Uma Palma with 5 gifted Do Not Worry memberships. Let's fucking go, folks. Thank you so much, Uma. Folks, for those who don't know, Uma's an awesome Twitch streamer. Do you stream on YouTube at all, Uma? But you can find them on Twitch. And a lot of great, like, Ethan Klein tweets. Like, the whole Ethan not allowing the crew to, like, stream on their own and stuff. I got all that from Twitter, from Uma. Thank you so much, Uma. That's so kind. That's so fucking generous.
This is the reality that we're facing. It's so obvious. It'll be a reroute of 2024 after 4 years of Trump. So we can't lose. We cannot lose. We must not lose.
Just on Twitch.
But it is kind of wild because we're now in a situation where it's increasingly clear to me that the democratic wishes of the majority will not be listened to no matter how hard we fight for it, no matter how hard we try. We have to make ourselves unbowed and an undeniable force. Part of that revolves around reaching the normies, reaching the apolitical, doing everything we can to get them to understand that this is a unique predicament, right? This is not normal. Senator Jackie Rosen. Hasan Piker's been trafficking in anti-Semitic tropes for a while.
Yo, Uma, also thank you for becoming a member. That's so fucking sweet. Thank you so much. Is there one more? Oh, we got Spencer Pratt. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Hasan, man. I feel bad, dude. Like, yeah, he's rich and successful. Why do you feel bad for him? Because I did the whole fucking country. Everybody's just talking shit about the guy, and that is, I genuinely think that is putting his life in danger. Like, genuinely, people have been hurt for way less. And when you have people in the media and online constantly just being like, he said this about Jews. He said 9/11 was good. It's just nonstop hysteria about things that he said and trying to paint them in the worst possible light, zero context, the least charitable interpretations of what he's saying. It's like, that's got to be exhausting, dude. And just me, myself, even when I'm getting a lot of support online or something, when I get one negative comment, you'd be surprised how much the negative tends to stand out from the positive. Even if it's 99% positive, that one negative comment can always like sting. And even if he's been online for a long time and he's developed thick skin and he's used to this and he's dealt with a lot of controversies before, it's still got to be fucking exhausting. And it's got to be lonely out there because no one's sticking their neck out to like defend him really, because no one wants to put themselves out there. Like, you kind of really pick a side in this situation. And some people, they're happy with having their like normie audience, and they don't want to have to, and they know they kind of cater to both Democrat, like liberals, and maybe some more conservative viewers. So they really tried to play both sides of the aisle, and they never want to. Standing publicly with Hasan puts you in a certain category, and it can alienate a possible segment of the population or of the viewership, because there's a lot of people that like have this irrational hatred of Hasan Piker online. He's someone that is constantly spoken about, who's constantly in some kind of controversy, and people have made him the face of the online left. So if you hate leftists, chances are you're going to hate the face of the online left on the internet. So a lot of people aren't willing to do it. On this show, I don't give a shit about like getting mainstream success. I'm not trying to have brand deals, and like I just don't really give a shit about that sort of thing. If it comes, it comes. But for the most part, I'm gonna be here and defend people that I like and that I want to defend, even if it's not the popular person to defend at this moment on the internet. You know? But I try not to let those things affect me. I just wish I had more of an audience, more of an influence to be able to help Hasan. But like, you know, all I can do is kind of like back him up from here. Mauricio says, talking about his close group from the podcast. Yeah, like, for example, if QT Cinderella came out with, like, a statement and it's like, hey, like, leave my boy alone. You know what I mean? Like, stand up, stand for your guy, Will Neff, or... I forget the... Austin Show. Like, look, I don't follow them on Twitter. Maybe they have put out a tweet being like, the hate for Hasan is crazy, but, like, make a fucking video. Make a stream being like, yo, like, leave Hasan alone or something. Like, I don't know. But more big... Like, what am I going to do to help, you know? Me being like, hey... Leave Hasan alone. Okay, sure. My 195 viewers, for whom I'm very thankful for. Thank you. That's kind of wild. But like, I don't have the influence. My voice doesn't fly nearly as far. So it would be. You could say the same about Mark Ruffalo, actually, too. Like, he's a fucking A-list actor. Not a single of his like Avengers co-stars, for example, had the balls to be like, yeah, we kind of support our boy Mark Ruffalo, like, leave him the fuck alone, he's not an anti-Semite. All these fucking big stars that are just so focused on their brand, and we have a Marvel movie coming out, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, I can't take a side. If I stand with Mark Ruffalo, we're going to alienate the Republicans. They're not going to come watch Avengers Doomsday, and I'm going to get a smaller cut from that box office. And it's like, it's just people putting their financial gain, and like someone like Robert Downey Jr., who made like $50 million off of Avengers Endgame. Like, how much more money does this fucker need? Like, maybe defending your friend, you know, is better. But then you got Disney breathing down their neck, like, everybody shut the fuck up. Disney's probably like called all the actors from like the next Avengers movie, like, nobody say anything. Don't talk about it. Don't mention Mark Ruffalo. We don't want to ruffle any feathers, huh? You know, we want everybody to show up for Doomsday and Secret Wars. So everyone shut the fuck up. Nobody make a statement. Like, that's why actors like Hannah Einbinder and Melissa Barrera and Javier Bardem, those people, you have to admire them at least for taking such a massive risk, because this stuff is very, very alienating in Hollywood. And Hollywood thinks with their wallets, they think with their bank coffers, like, how much money can we make off this project? If an actor to them is kind of a PR nightmare, they're not going to want to hire the guy. Let alone Paramount is not going to want to hire Mark Ruffalo because they're fucking racist and they're like fucking Zionists. And if they acquire Warner Brothers, he now can't get work with Warner Brothers or Paramount. And now Disney, sure, he's the Hulk, but they're like, listen, Mark, you're too much of a headache, and we want our Avengers movies to appeal to everybody. We want all sorts of families to come and watch the Hulk smash on the big screen. So your comments about Israel, and, you know, they've been deemed anti-Semitic. We can't have you in our cinematic universe anymore. So now he can't work at Disney because Disney's got to sell the toys. They got to sell the plushies. They got to sell the T-shirts. They can't have controversy anywhere around their brand. So now he's got to work with other smaller studios, but they're all getting gobbled up. Maybe go work at Fox. Oh wait, Disney owns Fox now, so he can't work at Fox either. So where do you go now? You know, next thing you know, he's making movies for Tubi. He's making Tubi exclusive videos and Roku movies. He's going to star in the next Roku series, exclusive on Roku. Spencer Pratt is back saying Mark Ruffalo is a deca millionaire because of the mergers that stroke his checks. All of these people are frauds.
Claiming that Of course, you got the once great actor and now full-time activist buffoon Mark Ruffalo.
Why does he sound like he's AI? Is he like in an RV? Is he filming this in an RV? Dude, this is a mobile home. He's filming this in a mobile home. Why are you on an RV, my guy? Why the fuck are you filming this here? Does he mention it at the end? Like, does he walk out and like turn on his grill? Why are you living in your car, man?
Of course, you got the once great actor and now full-time activist buffoon Mark Ruffalo cheering on this lawfare like a clapping seal, desperate for his woke brownie points, claiming that crippling Netflix competitor is somehow a victory for the industry. Clearly, it's all just about sticking it to Trump.
This is over the top.
Now, Mark Ruffalo isn't anti-merger. He loved mergers back when he was celebrating Disney gobbling up Marvel, and he had no problem when Disney
His voice sounds like pure AI. Literally, it sounds like AI.
He went up to gobble up Fox. He didn't even have an issue when it was a tech giant Netflix on deck to merge with Warner Brothers. Ruffalo himself even starred in Zodiac, a joint production between Warner Brothers and
He looks like the Bush guy who was with Trump when he said grab him by the pussy. What's his name?
Paramount. He had no problem with them teaming
Just like a chubby version of him.
up when they were paying him $1.5 million. It was only when the Ellisons came into the picture that all of a sudden he didn't like mergers. So why was he so pro-merger in the Disney takeover? Well, they were stroking his multi-million-dollar checks.
$3 million, $4.5 million, $6 million, $1.5.
When did he come out as pro merger? He benefited from the merger? I mean, maybe he works for Disney, but like, he never came out and was like, yeah, Disney needs to merge with Fox. Same thing happened when Disney merged with Fox. That thousands of jobs were lost. It was horrible for the industry. The state had to get involved, and they forced Fox to like divest from a bunch of shit and get rid of like as much as they divest, it's still a horrible deal. But like they forced them to get rid of like the TV networks and a lot of stuff. Like Disney didn't swallow Fox whole, but it was still horrible for the industry. But the same thing happened. The exact same thing, the exact same fears were brought up when Disney decided to acquire Fox. It made no fucking sense. But there is some support for Mark Ruffalo. Jane Fonda has released a statement in support of Mark Ruffalo after Paramount slammed the four-time Oscar nominee as anti-Semitic. Calling his criticism anti-Semitic is a smear to delegitimize criticism of the merger and to distract from the question Paramount would rather not answer. Should one company be allowed to accumulate this much power over our movies, television, and news? Good job, Jane Fonda. You know? And honestly, at this point, like I got to give people credit for doing the bare minimum because no one is stepping up and saying anything. They're just leaving Mark out to dry, dude. They're just leaving him out to dry. No one wants to say, at least no one high profile, you know? When like everyone made fun of Chris Pratt, remember a few years ago, there was like this trend on Twitter, who's the worst Chris? And everybody voted Chris Pratt. Then all the Avengers actors decided to put out tweets like, we love Chris. Chris is amazing. What's wrong? And like now everyone's shitting on Mark Ruffalo, trying to end his career. They have nothing to say, but they'll all step in. Actually, we love Chris Pratt. He's a great and funny guy. Like, yeah, that's worth fucking opening your mouths for. A silly, like, dumb internet meme. But like, this guy is actually getting his career fucking threatened. And crickets. Crickets. Also, Haim Saban, I don't know if you guys know, but Haim Saban is the owner of Power Rangers. Not globally. It's still, I think, a Japanese brand, technically, right? But when Power Rangers came over to the States, and then they had to, like, redub them and film the additional scenes with the American actors, Haim Saban was the guy that owns it. So Haim Saban, Lawrence Bender, and Teddy Schwartzman among industry group accusing Mark Ruffalo of anti-Semitism and attack on Paramount leadership. So there you go. By the way, if they ever make a Power Rangers reboot, Mark Ruffalo can kiss his chances of being cast in that movie goodbye, because it's done. The group calling itself the Brigade, of course they are calling themselves the Brigade, from their IDF days most likely, also includes Ram Bergman, Matty Lashem, Anthony Bregman, Mika Green, and Lynn Harris. An entertainment industry group that includes Hollywood producers Haim Saban, Lawrence Bender, and Teddy Schwartzman has released a statement condemning the alleged anti-Semitic tropes underpinning Mark Ruffalo's opposition to Paramount's leadership amid its proposed merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. The statement comes from a group calling itself the Brigade, which describes itself as a group of nearly 1,000 members, friends, and allies of the Jewish community who are proud to be working in film, television, music, Broadway, social and digital, and other platforms in and around the entertainment industry. as well as Power Rangers, media mogul, there we go, media mogul Saban, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction producer Bender, and Black Bear founder and CEO Schwartzman. The brigade includes amongst its ranks Ram Bergman, Matti Leshem, okay, blah, blah, blah. The brigade statements, okay, where's the statement? Singling out Jewish executives and describing them in terms lifted from centuries-old anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. What are we talking about here? He just said that the guy's oracle is helping Israel conduct its genocide, while invoking Israel as the frame for that attack is anti-Semitic. So fucking annoying. Reads the statement, it is unacceptable to introduce Jews, anti-Zionism, or anti-Semitism into conversations about business transactions? Why the fuck not? Why can't we talk about Zionism or genocide or what someone supports, the values that they have as a company owner? If they're going to control 30% of the media in America, and like fucking 30% of like all the IP of the world and own Ninja Turtles and DC Comics, yeah, maybe being anti-genocide is a good thing. Maybe they shouldn't be piece of shit Trump lackeys that support, literally have given $26 million to the IDF. Ruffalo has long opposed both the Paramount merger. Okay, so that's about the statement. The statement added, this is a callous continuation of the ongoing campaign by the same individuals and groups targeting Jewish people and the state of Israel, a pattern of anti-Semitism and misinformation that puts our community in grave danger. Oh my God, dude. And all these publications that give these that publish these statements. It's insane. So yeah, Hasan Piker, you know, take solace in knowing that you're not fighting this battle alone. Actually, him and Mark Ruffalo should do a fucking stream together. That would fucking smack. Holy shit. Someone get me in contact with Hasan Piker's bookers. Whoever's booking over at Hasan Piker. But actually, they would like, at that point, Mark Ruffalo's management would be like, no. Would be like, no. We're trying to chill things out. And remember, you got an Avengers movie coming out in a couple of years, Mark. No, Mark. Mark Ruffalo, no. But like, damn, Mark Ruffalo going on Hasan, because they're literally both dealing with the exact same thing. They made a statement. It is being interpreted in the worst possible way. They're both being labeled as anti-Semites that need to be out of work and ostracized from the community. What better guest can Hasan Piker get on a show? The problem is the Mark Ruffalo's PR and his reps and manager would be like, no. You're not getting everybody, like the guy they're calling an anti-Semite. You want to collab with him? Everyone's calling you an anti-Semite. You can't collaborate with that guy. So they would put a big no on it. But Hasan, just try to make the call. Give it a try, Hasan Piker. It would make for a very interesting conversation. Oh shit, I accidentally closed something. Just some quick lawyer updates. From H3, here's Kilo Tonics. Quickly talking about what's happening with the Frogan lawsuit before we move into the Hutch reaction. Kilo says Frogan's team has filed a notice of related civil cases attaching the full original complaint from TEI against Denims. It's not particularly hard to see which direction the case is moving in, along with their recent filings. The notice from today is Frogan's team obviously setting themselves up to mirror how Denim's case went, such as a potential motion for judgment on the pleadings or similar move. Here, they took note to remind the court that it would essentially be somewhat of a waste of time and resources to relitigate almost identical cases that were filed at the same time by the same party concerning the same works that make the same arguments. The response to the complaint is due by December 10th, so by September 10th. That's a pretty smart move, actually. Like, hey, we just fucking did this a couple months ago. Remember us? Hey, here's the same case. Don't waste your time, okay? It's going to be the same thing. He's going after these people. It's the same guy suing him over the same video. We've done this song and dance before. It ain't worth your time. I think that's a pretty smart strategy from the team, and good on Frogan for being able to hire Denim's team. They got that experience now. They got that W already, so good to hear. I hope it works out for Frogan. I hope, I wish her nothing but the best. So let's go. Also, Rushdie Shackelford. Also, Uma Palma's going to make an appearance here, by the way. Complete coincidence. Says, so, because I didn't really understand what this is. So Rusty says, hey, H3 Productions, maybe you should focus more on getting your views back up instead of slandering Hasan. Your lawyer has got another vacation to book. So I saw this and I didn't understand what it meant. It said, the motion to dismiss appeal number 263553 for lack of jurisdiction is denied without prejudice to renewing the arguments in the answering brief. I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't really understand what this meant. Then Uma Palma quote tweeted it and said, Ethan tried to dismiss Snark Mod's appeal. Judge denied that motion to dismiss. Very good news. So basically what happened is apparently, so Ethan tried to, so the Snark Mods appealed whatever lawsuit or thing that Ethan filed. Ethan tried to dismiss their appeal, and a judge denied the dismissal. They denied the motion to dismiss, which is good news. So the Snark Mods appeal is going to go through. They're going to be able to appeal. So that's good. Thank you, Uma Palma, for translating that for me, because I'm not good with like legal speak, and as if like I was going to recognize like this was kind of an out of context tweet, the original one. So good to know. And now, folks, what you've all been waiting for. What you've all been waiting for. Hutch and Ethan Klein collaborating. The collaboration of a lifetime, folks. A collab of a lifetime. I wonder why Ethan's no longer like, why is he not using Loner Box anymore? What happened with that? Okay. This is, I paid $6 for this, folks. I didn't, Hutch had not yet uploaded this to YouTube, and no one else had like screen recorded their whole conversation. I was just finding clips online. So I actually went and I had to give Hutch $6, folks, to be able to access, because he doesn't let non-subscribers watch his replays. You can't do it on Hutch's account. So I dropped $6. I already canceled the subscription, so it's not going to auto-renew. Don't worry about that. You're only going to get that $6 from me, Hutch. But now, literally, while we were streaming, he uploaded it to YouTube. So now his whole video's on YouTube, but let's do it. We're going to watch it off of Twitch because we paid for it. Let's fucking go.
Gene Luke Dickhard, thank you so much for the tier 1 membership for 6 months. Ella with 6 shekels, thank you. Israeli lurker here, thanks for keeping me sane.
Oh my god, of course he's getting shekels and Israeli lurkers in there. Of course. I love your show. I'm from Israel. Thank you for defending Israel all the time. Oh my god, dude, of course. So anyways, just a little bit about Hutch too. Like, I don't really follow any of Hutch's content. I just find him very boring and uninteresting. Like his background. Like, look at this. He's got like a, just like a couch. Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, the couch is fine. The couch is fine, okay? But like, everything about the dude screams like uninteresting to me. His takes are uninteresting. I only ever see him tweeting about Hasan Piker. He's only ever talking about Hasan Piker, and like he's a milquetoast Democrat, centrist Democrat, who like kind of supports Israel and who doesn't give a shit who he votes for as long as it's blue. Like, this is kind of a blue no matter who type of fucking lame ass motherfucker. So I don't engage with this stuff because I find it boring and extremely uninteresting. So like when there's like a Hutch controversy, I don't cover it. I don't add it to my topics list. Nothing. But the only reason we're watching this today is because Ethan Klein is calling in, and Ethan is desperate to talk to anyone anti-Hasan. And now that he's not talking about Hasan on his show, he wants to get on anywhere where he can fucking do it. So let's enjoy.
Thank you for the dono. Appreciate that. How well we do it. Tip $10. Any recent movie recommendations? There's other movies that we've watched as well, but I can't think of any.
Drax says, bro is so boring. I get that sense too. I've never watched nearly enough of him. Anything really. I've just seen clips on Twitter
Right now. I feel like there's a lot of good shows right now. Jesse with $2. Donnie Yen in Zero Blade Phantom. I don't know if that's a show or a movie. Cy Bexon with $10. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library sends my daughter books every month. The program. Carlos.
Okay, I think he's trying to make the call work right now. Come on, buddy. Is this the shit service I paid for, Hutch? What is this shitty stream? Can't believe I have to pay this guy, dude. Depressing.
Follow somebody else because it's all grayed out and the setting is on in my settings.
There we go. There's that voice.
Forge with $2. Rip Dolly, they'll never take your man. For your call with, I mean, it pushed.
Dude, look at him like fucking sucking on that. that e-cigarette. Jesus Christ, dude. Easy on that pull.
Yes, it is. I mean, listen, I think you guys want me to take this call. So
there we go. The call is starting, folks.
it's all on. Then I don't know why. Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Hey, man.
Oh, here, let me mute my TV because I'm watching. Can you call somebody else? Because it's all grayed out in the settings.
Ethan is watching Hutch. Like, oh my God. IDF kills children. Just gifted a Do Not Worry membership. Let's go. IKC. IDF. I mean, horrible. Again, the greatest and most horrible name of all time. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for slamming us with that gifted membership. Let's fucking go.
It's on in my settings.
For some reason, after I checked on the settings and I clicked on it, then it gave me the option to call you. So.
Wait, you're calling me right now? Because it came to my... Oh, that makes sense. So we're talking on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did it.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you? We're enjoying, the great Hutch's coverage. One of the great sane minds. And I was watching you this morning, and
ever since Ethan and Hasan fell out, Ethan has had to settle for like shittier and shittier leftist creators, and every time it's like he's going to like smaller and less relevant creators. He started with Loner Box, now he's watching Hutch. God damn. By the way, we're at 399 members out of 500, folks. 399. Thank you guys so much for all the gifted.
I've been like thinking about the Hasan thing, and it's... I don't know if people are even
like the walls, dude. Yeah, Drax says bro lives in sepia. That's the thing. Like, I get, like, I thought his couch was brown for the longest time. Everything is like so cream colored, especially on my TV when I'm looking at it over there. It's just like beige and cream and brown, and he's always wearing like these earth tones, and he's like boring, and he's got like very little charisma. And he's like Furiosa. I mean, Furiosa is an okay movie. Like, that's the movie poster you're gonna have up there. Furiosa. I don't know, weird choice. It's fine. It's a fine prequel. But if you're gonna have any Mad Max movie up there, like maybe Fury Road, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Uma Palma with another Slam gifted membership. Let's fucking go. Bringing us to 400 memberships. And Lemon Mincat renewing their membership. We're at 401. Let's fucking go. Coming in clutch with those memberships. Thank you guys so much. It's fucking awesome. Sweet. Thank you. Yaya Kelly says it's depressing. It's very depressing. The whole stream is depressing. Like, the whole thing just has like shitty, boring vibes. Like, why? It's not inviting. Look, I'm not saying I have the most beautiful set on earth, but like it's kind of colorful. It's bright. It's inviting. You know what I mean? What is this? It's like he's smoking a whole pack of cigarettes on that couch. Like, you want to smoke a cigarette with me? Like, no. It's like a waiting room in like a very sketchy place, or like a chalet. It's like a chalet kind of, you know what I mean? It's like by the beach, tiny little chalet where he's like staying at. There's with like the brown tiles. I don't know, man. I'm not saying it looks like. I'm just judging like the color choices and everything. The whole combination of everything. It's just fucking boring.
I want to explain what I think he's doing, and I think it's actually quite insidious. And I don't know if this is obvious or if people already know this, and you kind of did touch on it today. But what he does is he spends so much of his time convincing his audience that he doesn't hate Jewish people, and that there's a big difference between Jewish people and Zionists.
Well, the only reason he has to do that is because he keeps getting accused by people like you that he hates Jewish people. So, of course, he has to deny it. And he has to keep giving disclaimers and disclaimers because people are more than happy to interpret the things he says in the worst possible light. Literally, he's like, hey, the more you support like Israel and publicly support Israel, it's gonna look, you're gonna make like basically American Jews look bad. If you keep linking your beliefs and your morals to the state of Israel, it's going to lead to a rise in anti-Semitism because people are going to constantly link Jewish people that have nothing to do with Israel with Israel's actions. And it might lead to a rise in anti-Semitism / violence against Jewish people. That's what he's saying. But then he says that, they're like, he's calling for violence. He was saying the exact opposite. He's literally saying, avoid doing these things because it might lead to violence. And they're like, he's calling for the murder of Jews. It's like, you people are fucking insane.
Right. And so Zionists are the enemy. Zionist is the worst thing you can be. The problem is that he defines Zionism as anybody that, I mean, as he said once, has any kind of fondness for this, has ever at any point had any kind of fondness for the state of Israel, or anybody that doesn't think that Israel should be, you know, wiped off the map. So when
anyone who shouldn't think that Israel wants to be wiped off the map, that's not, dude, no. Okay, and maybe if he ever said, like, at any point, he's being a little facetious, he's being a little, you know, he's exaggerating for his Twitch audience. But if you used to support the state of Israel, but now you don't support Israel and you're very anti-Israel, no one gives a shit if you supported it in the past. Thanks for being on the right side. We appreciate your support. But Zionism is basically, yeah, if you support the existence of Israel as it currently exists as a Jewish majority state, knowing full well what it takes to maintain a Jewish majority in a country like that. That to maintain that Jewish majority, there are discriminatory laws. It's an apartheid. There's a fucking genocide going on. Palestinians don't have freedom of movement in their own land, in their own country. They can't travel. They can't get a passport. Like, what are we talking about? There's no right of return. So if you support a country that does that, in order to exist in the way that it does, then yeah, you're a fucking Zionist. It's a very clear definition.
When you read a stat like 80% or whatever, it's like, I don't know, 80, 90% of American Jews have some type of like positive association with Israel.
He keeps fucking saying that. He keeps repeating this fucking stat and this fucking statistic to, again, link American Jews to Israel more. Well, it's 80% of Jews in America have some kind of positive feeling towards Israel. That means, are we all Zionists? By the way, his headphone leather is like falling apart on like his sweaty head.
It doesn't mean...
What is he doing with his face, dude?
They support the government.
Right.
But what it does mean is that...
He's like a gross streamer to watch. Like, also, like, just look at what he... Okay, first of all, look at the leather at the bottom of his headphones on his head. It's like, cause it's interacting with the sweat and the oils of his head. So it's and look, it's normal. I've had a pair of headphones where the leather kind of got fucked. Like, I don't keep wearing it, especially if I'm going to fucking stream. Are you shitting me? Look at that leather just falling apart.
Some type of like positive association with it.
And now his face, look at these. Are these like weird ticks you got?
Israel. It doesn't mean they support the government.
Right.
But what it does mean is that by Hasan's absolutely insane, rabid definition of Zionism, then what he is doing is fomenting hate for 90% of American Jews. But because he's convinced his audience, it doesn't mean they support the government.
Right.
They don't support the government. So what do they support? When you say I support Israel, but I don't support the government, what does that mean? What does it mean to support Israel, but not the government? Just a country for Jews? We just want a country for us where there's a Jewish majority. Okay, how do you plan on maintaining that majority? No right of return for Palestinians? You're a Zionist. You're a piece of shit. Like, what else are we supposed to say?
But what it does mean is that by Hasan's absolutely insane, rabid definition of Zionism, then what he is doing is fomenting hate for 90% of American Jews. But because he's convinced his audience that not all Jews are Zionists, and that there's so many good Jews out there, guys. You know, look at all my Jewish friends and look at all the Jewish people online. They hate Israel, and like so many Jews hate Israel. So we're not anti-Semitic.
That's so fucked up. He's saying that like he's convinced his audience that there are so many Jews that don't like Israel. So Ethan is trying to like force a connection between Jewish people and Israel, even for those that are like, hey, we don't want to fuck with Israel. We don't want to be associated with Israel. Ethan's like, he's convinced his audience that there actually are Jewish people that don't like Israel. That's crazy and dangerous. What do you mean? I got to listen to that again, dude. That's fucking nuts.
Is for 90% of America absolutely with Israel. It doesn't mean they support the government.
Right.
But what it does mean is that by Hasan's absolutely insane, rabid definition of Zionism, then what he is doing is fomenting hate for 90% of American Jews. But because he's convinced his audience,
he keeps saying that Hasan is fomenting hate for 90% of Jewish people because in Ethan's mind, 90% of Jewish people like Israel. So he just keeps on making that connection, He can't stop himself. And when Sam Cedar was on for the debate with Ethan, he's like, Ethan, the most dangerous thing you can do is constantly connect Judaism and anti-Semitism and Zionism. You know, stop conflating the two. Stop conflating Zionism with Judaism. This is exactly what Ethan wants to do. He keeps insisting that 90% of Jews actually do like Israel. So when you say that, you know, when you're talking about anti-Zionism, you're actually being anti-Semitic because you're talking about 90% of Jews, and you're saying that you don't like 90% of Jews.
That not all Jews are Zionists, and that there's so many good Jews out there, guys. You know, look at all my Jewish friends and look at all the Jewish people online. They hate Israel, and like so many Jews hate Israel. So we're not anti-Semitic. We just hate 90% of Jewish people in America. But he has difficulty reckoning with that fact because his definition of Zionism is so it's so broad.
My guy, if most Jewish people support Israel, then that's a problem. That's a problem. And there needs to be a significant not reckoning, but like a looking inward. There needs to be a massive sort of a reckoning in terms of like they need to recognize what the fuck is happening and look inward as a community and be like, okay, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But like, imagine, for example, anytime someone criticizes Muslims, everybody jumps and says, but it's only 5 or 10% of the Muslims that are extreme and everyone else is just normal and wants to live a normal life. Well, you can't run out and tell me that 90% of Jews are actually extremists and they just support a genocide and they support, you know, keeping a Jewish majority in the country, no matter what it takes, whether it's ethnic cleansing, genocide, apartheid. No, that's kind of fucked. So don't put that on everyone. A lot of people are also uneducated. A lot of Jews are uneducated about what's happening in Israel and Palestine. They're fed the propaganda. And if you hear that shit your whole life, of course you're going to think you're right. That there needs to be re-education. We need to talk about this openly. People actually need to know how Israel came to be. Jewish people really need to understand how Israel came to be, not the bullshit propaganda and hasbara that they're fed. That's why when you say 90%, which is probably not 90%, and if it is, that's fucked up. That's a fucked up statistic that you need to reckon with. You need to understand what that means. You need to let that sit inside you for a little bit and think about it, you know? Like, why is it that all of us support ethnically cleansing a country and keeping their land? Why do we need a homeland to begin with?
Or it involves so many Jewish people because it's so hard to qualify as an anti-Zionist in Hasan's community, right? You have to basically be pro-Hamas at this point to be
he can't make it make sense in his head. Like you can't. What does it mean to be anti-Zionist in Hasan's mind? You have to be pro-Hamas. No, my guy, you just got to be like, listen, yeah, a one-state solution. There shouldn't be a Jewish majority because to maintain a Jewish majority, we have to commit all of these fucking crimes. And I think that these crimes are bad. So I think the only way for Israel to redeem its soul and to have a soul is to be a one-state for everybody. Jews and Arabs, Muslims and Palestinians, whoever wants to live there can live there on any piece of land that they want. That's how you don't become a Zionist. That's the only way. You can't justify stealing land and pushing people out of their land and banning people from returning to their land. Well, it's too late. It already happened. No, it's not too late. It's not too fucking late. So stick your head out of the fucking sand. You know exactly what people are talking about. Ethan.
Considered anti-Zionist, right? You have to be like Norm Finkelstein, who said on October 8th he was euphoric at the sights of Hamas breaking into Israel.
Well, I don't even think Norm Finkelstein, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Norm Finkelstein is Norm Finkelstein even a one-state person? Like, I don't know if he opposes the existence of Israel. But could be wrong about that, but like
actually, ironically, I think you might actually be right about that. But I don't think he makes a big fuss about it either way. He just really.
Aitor sends a dono. Thank you, Aitor. What did it say? Where is, oh, there it says don't speak ill of the Nazis because there are many German Americans and white Nazis who don't like the supreme leader, but the rest of us Nazis are more friendly. Hail Israel, Kirk. I know it does kind of sound like that. People are saying Tim Curry has passed. What was Tim Curry in?
Fucking
yeah, right.
He really hates Israel and all of its forms.
But in terms of defining Zionism, Hasan very repeatedly defines it as an inherently, what his language is, ethno-supremacist, settler colonial project.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad he brought that up, actually. Yeah, please break that down.
Right.
And I guess a question that popped into my head when you were talking is,
so do you support an ethno-supremacist state, Ethan? Maybe that's a good question to ask him. Do you support Israel being an ethno-supremacist, mainly Jewish majority state? And to maintain that majority, you know, that they should be allowed to have an apartheid and a genocide and ethnic cleansing and bombing every single country that's around and bombing Lebanon and trying to get more land over there?
When you were being raised in Judaism, how often did the word Zionism come up, like in your studies and in your in where you worshipped? And
the word doesn't have to literally fucking come up, you idiot. The fact that he's sitting there learning a false narrative, a false history about how Israel came to be, that is Zionism. That is the propaganda. They don't need to tell him this is Zionism. They don't need to fucking use that word. Maybe now they have to try to reclaim it in some weird kind of campaign. No, this is Zionism, good Zionism. It's literally the fact that you're actually teaching these people and brainwashing them into thinking this false history, and that the Arabs and like the Arabs kicked out. What did Ethan say on his show? Like the Arabs actually kicked out all of the Palestinians because they told them, hey, we're going to beat the Israelis in the war and we're going to win, and then you can come back and take your land. And then because the Arabs kicked out the Palestinians, the Israelis just like, hey, we moved in, we found these empty homes and we took them. Lemon Mint Cat with a $2 dono. Feelings of the oppressor group does not matter. Good luck telling that to Ethan. Home Alone.
Family, was that a term that was used a lot?
Never. I mean, for me, never. The first time I ever even started thinking about that word was like, I mean, I had heard it. If anything, the only people I heard using it was like white nationalists and like David Duke type of people. Those were the only people using that word, at least in my view.
White nationalism and David Duke. So he's saying the only people that use the word Zionism are fucking Nazis, basically, and white supremacists. Again, to try to discredit that word and make it seem that only extreme weirdos and racists and anti-Semites would use that word.
And academics. It was definitely a word that came up in when I went to college.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not in the academia area of Israeli studies and stuff, but I've always just heard David Duke and people like that, Zionism.
Yeah, and academics, Ethan. Oh yeah, sure, academics. All I know is David Duke.
Zios, the Zionists, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I never ever. No, at when I was at temple or Torah study or in the synagogue, whatever. It was never about Zionism or anything like that. If anything, it's just.
Your battery's running low, Hutch. I saw that little red flicker.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation too about how Jews are raised on propaganda and this type of stuff. Honestly, I think that a lot of American Jews have family or associations or entanglements and crossovers with people or things in Israel. So it's like anybody else that has an association with like somebody who's from
entanglements. That's an interesting way to say it, to say like connections. We have, entanglements with people in Israel. So what are we supposed to do? My second cousin's there. What am I supposed to do? Condemn the whole country? Yes, you can. Who gives a shit about your second cousin? Toby's Dog Walker slams with 5 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go. Toby's Dog Walker, thank you so much. That's so very kind. We're at 16 new members today, folks. Let's fucking go. W's in the chat for Toby. That's so kind. So generous. Thank you so much.
Who's German but is born in America, but they have German family and they have places they like in Germany, or maybe they visited Germany. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom is Italian, and so they didn't start traveling until the last like 20 years, and they've taken like 6 trips to this little city in Italy where my mom's family come from, and it's like this city of...
Yeah, they actually come from there. They didn't steal the land from someone else. They didn't steal their homes from a Palestinian family and then just moved in, and then don't allow the Palestinians to ever come back, none of their descendants to ever come back to their land or their country. That's not how it works in Italy. You can't compare someone going back to their village in Italy to someone, oh, they just went to their childhood village in Israel. It wasn't... The olive trees that Israel is burning here are older than Israel.
Like 300 people or whatever. And now she has a deep fondness for that city and her family that live in that city. And so now there's this like direct familial connection there. And she was trying to like get me dual citizenship in Italy. And so, yeah, I mean, I take your point in terms of not that exclusive or unique to Jewish people to have like a similar situation, right?
Yeah, and it's nothing more than that. But then to say
it's nothing more, yeah, because Israel is Italy now. Okay, great.
To turn to your audience and say, well, if you're one of these people, like that just has like a completely normal association with a country that you might know, people that live there or what have you, then you're a baby killer. You're a Nazi. He really doesn't even mince words these days, right? You're a fucking evil Nazi. And one of his favorite quotes that I like is that
the dog walking one with...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that if you've ever at any point had a fondness for Israel, you should not even qualify to be the local dog walker, right? And that's the quote that Sam Cedar famously defended.
Yeah, don't get...
Accurate quote. If you support Israel, don't get near my fucking dog, motherfucker. You ain't walking my dog.
Get me started on his saying...
Did he say dog catcher? I think he said you can't be a dog catcher. Yeah, don't catch my dog or don't walk my dog. Doesn't matter.
Washing. That was a crazy thing to say. But tell me...
Crazy, unhinged.
Tell me what you think, because like I think that for Hasan, I think like number one, I think his ego is very big, obviously, and I think he's not thinking about American politics in terms of like specific policy.
If you think Hasan's ego's big, check out the guy that has 6 ongoing lawsuits for just criticizing him on the internet. You want to talk about egos, and then he gets his kicks by forcing people to read coerced apologies, where he enjoys to write the scripts for those apologies. You want to talk about ego, my friend? You're talking to the man. Dana, who's been a member for 14 months, sends a super message. Thank you so much, Dana, for the 14-month support. That's crazy. Says, many know the Nakba in 1948, the year Israel was founded. Let's also remember the Hula massacre of 1948, where they attempted to annex a part of South Lebanon. Hula. And they're annexing parts of South Lebanon today. They have 6% of our landmass that is now part of the yellow line. We can't go through there. You know what I'm saying? And they've razed over 81 villages to the ground. They're putting up Israeli flags everywhere. We've been covering that. There's a whole bunch of Israeli flags in the area. They're building some bases and stuff like that. It's starting, folks. It's starting again.
Sees like Medicare for all. In his mind, I think he sees himself as a thought leader and as someone who's going to lead the world into like his version of anti-colonialism.
Andrea Jones says his parents are openly Zionist. Why is Ethan lying? He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to talk about that probably. But yeah, both of his parents, his mom in particular, has liked and said some pretty wild shit on Twitter about Israel Palestine
and like ending capitalism. And I think he sees Israel as like the ultimate example of settler colonialism. And I don't think he's considering the experience like what you describe, where, you know, you're not raised. I assume probably most American Jewish people are not raised with this belief that they're like literally a superior race or like an ethno identity or something. It's, you know, yeah.
That's just the Nazi propaganda, right? That's all it is. No,
my guy, they're ethno supremacists when they're in actual Israel. When they're in Israel, it is an ethno supremacist state. Because Israelis get a whole different set of rules and a whole different set of laws. Just like Palestinians get hung now for certain crimes. And if a Jewish Israeli is accused of that exact same crime, they don't get killed. But there's a death penalty exclusively for Palestinians. Isn't that fucked? And when a country claims that it belongs to the Jews and has a bunch of laws that prevent Palestinians from coming back to their land or traveling in their own land or leaving an open-air prison, yeah, I would say that's pretty ethno-supremacist. When you have their politicians, their leaders constantly saying that they're the chosen people in the media, on the radio, in their statements, that they're the chosen people, this land was promised to them by God. It's all fair game when you're in Israel, my guy.
There's no, Jewish people don't think they're, listen, I'm not friends with a lot of religious Jewish people, but I knew a lot of them when I lived in Israel. Nobody's walking around thinking they're like superior. They have, I think there's like the radical settlers, right? These types of people do believe that stuff. And I'm pretty sure that me and even most Israelis are united in thinking these people are fucking horrific.
Most Israelis are united. Most Israelis are united in thinking that that's crazy. Most Israelis are letting a genocide fucking happen right under their fucking nose. Not only that, they're participating in it because every single Israeli is an IDF soldier. Every single Israeli at one point or another has been an IDF soldier. So, no, the vast majority of Israelis are not against these radicals. They've let it happen. You've let the West Bank be taken over. You've allowed Gaza to become a fucking parking lot. Not only that, you've all participated in it in one way or another. Lemon Min Cat with a $5 super chat. Thanks so much, Lemon. Says Palestine was home to many peoples. The difference is Israel came out as colonist murderers, not to be part of the community. Why would you feel love for that? Because they get homes over there, and they get a house, and they get land, and that's it. They've been told that it's your country, it's your homeland, you belong there. Instead of just coming in and moving in with the people, yeah, no, they wanted to take it for themselves.
Fake, disgusting, racist people. But like the vast majority of Jewish people definitely doesn't have this superiority complex. It's not like we're some group that's looking to like screw over other Jews. I mean, this or that we're colluding together to that whole greater.
You just deserve your own country, and no matter what anyone says, you're special enough to have your own country. And you want to take it by force, essentially, by killing people, robbing, stealing their land, displacing them, ethnically cleansing them, destroying their schools, their heritage, their universities, their trees, their nature.
Israel conspiracy craziness, which is something that I've heard even Hasan saying now, which is just like a straight up David Duke, like Protocols of Zion level of conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing. And I mean, the thing is, Zionism is such a like.
It's just not a thing, guys. There's literally a fucking genocide happening, you know, in the name of Zionism. It's just not a thing. As Gaza has been flattened, as South Lebanon is getting flattened, as we're getting bombed every single day, as our country is being forced into a fucking deal that fucks us over for the end of time.
It's such a, I feel like the whole Zionism thing is moot at this point because the state of Israel has already existed for like 100 years almost. And there's like 9 million people living there. It's a fully developed country. This whole conversation about how
78 years is pretty far. I was like, wait, is it 75, 76? It's 78 years old, my guy. Don't even try to say it's 100 years old. Don't even try to pull that. It's not, don't try to make it older than it is. Don't fucking try, dude, okay? All my grandparents were older than Israel. Don't fuck with me, man. The olive trees that you're burning in South Lebanon, that you're stealing to replant over in Israel, they're like 100 years old. Those are actually rooted in history. Unlike fucking Israel, that's 78 years old. All right? Literally, Dolly Parton, R.I.P. to the Queen, was 2 years older than Israel.
It's such a, I feel like the whole Zionism thing is moot at this point because the state of Israel has already existed for like 100 years almost. And there's like 9 million people living there. It's a fully developed country. This whole conversation about how the only solution is one state with equal rights. It's like, well, I think the only solution for the world is world peace and that everybody, you know, gets $1 million. The truth is that
the way he says that so like dismissively, well, I think that there should be world peace and everyone should get $1 million, but everybody knows that can't happen. Well, why can't it happen, Ethan? Pinpoint the problems and the root causes for this shit. and don't just fucking accept it.
It's never going to happen. And it's not because I don't think it's great, or I don't think that that would be like a nicer vision of the world. It's just the same thing. It's just not going to happen. It's just a country. It's been there 100 years. It's full of people.
Stop saying 100 years. Oh my God, dude. They're trying to do like revisionism in real time. It's been there for 100 years. It fucking hasn't. It fucking hasn't. 78 years is not 100 years. 22 years is almost a quarter fucking century.
Has, you know what I mean? It's not something that
that's how they convince themselves. Like, oh, we have it's been 100 years. That's it. It's good. We've passed the threshold.
You just flip a switch. And one thing I told Hasan when we were kind of disagreeing on leftovers was that like the only way I see that happening is through some like horrific war. Like that's the only way I see something like that happening. And
Israel would have to be forced through violence or extreme coercion that would require like very broad international consensus in a way that's just difficult to imagine.
Extreme violence or extreme coercion. That's the only way Israelis would agree to share the land. You know? Why is that?
Not something that you just flip a switch. And one thing I told Hasan when we were kind of disagreeing on leftovers was that like the only way I see that happening is through some like horrific war.
Dude, he's got such weird fucking tics that he does on camera, man. And like his face is all up in the fucking camera. Like we don't need to see you rubbing your beard, man. Like that. I'll touch my beard sometimes. Like I've got facial hair. I know what it's like, but like just fucking sitting there like obsessively like pulling down on the hairs and shit. Like don't do that. Like your face is right there, man. It's such a shitty angle. Gross.
One thing I told Hasan when we were kind of disagreeing on leftovers was that like the only way I see that happening is through some like horrific war. Like that's the only way I see something like that happening. And
Israelis are so stubborn. They're such little fuckers that they don't want to share the land, that it's the only way to get them to do it is some horrific war. That's what it's going to take, dude.
Israel would have to be forced through violence or extreme coercion.
Violence or extreme coercion. That's the only way to get Israelis to the table to even consider sharing land that does not and has never belonged to them. And that to them is just like a normal take-tab. Like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't they? Why would they want to suddenly let all these Arab Muslims into their country, into their sophisticated, westernized country where they can party and drink and have sex shops and walk around and have gay pride parades? We don't want to let the Muslims in and ruin all the fun, huh?
That would require like very broad international consensus in a way that's just difficult to imagine. You know, what I was getting at when I was setting up like how Hasan sees himself, and like one of the reasons why I think his movement that he's trying to build is just so useless is I think they see themselves as like fighting a war against capitalism that ended in the 90s and a war against the establishment of the state of Israel that ended decades ago. And like to your point, like the matter is settled. Israel does exist, even if you have problems with like the way that it was initially formed to begin with.
Yeah, Israel exists. Even if you have problems with that, with how it was initially formed, get over it. So we can't make it better. You can't let people return to their homes. You can't improve things. That's how it was. So what about slavery? Hey, listen, we've had slavery for a long time. That's kind of how it is, okay? It's been established. It's been decades. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to convince all these people to give up their slaves? What are you talking about, man? What the fuck kind of dumbass fucking take is that? Dana with a $2 dono. Thank you so much, Dana. Says, "Kaman halla biyulu lak, we were there 3,000 years ago." Of course that's coming. Of course that's coming.
Like,
yeah.
But that's literally every country is a product of some kind of colonialism, like literally every country. And if your problem is ethno-states, it's like, well, I got some.
Hee-ha-ho, 421 with the €2 dono. Thank you so much, Hee-ha-ho. Says, Ethan should be a public speaker. He's a natural. I know, right? He's doing great. Smooth, no hesitation. I think he's editing out the coughs.
Bad news about the vast majority of countries in the Middle East, because I looked into it like a month ago, and I was surprised to find that basically like the vast majority of Middle Eastern countries have it in their constitution that they're either an Arab state or a Muslim state or both. Like it's like the first article of their constitution of like Egypt and Jordan and all these countries is like they establish an ethno identity for the country. And so I just don't.
Not really, my guy. Most Middle Eastern countries aren't ethno established. Don't have an ethnic, like a majority ethnic. What did he call it?
Constitution of like Egypt and Jordan and all these countries is like they establish an ethno identity for the country.
There's no ethno identity. Are you talking about Saudi Arabia? Ator, another donor. Thank you. Ator says Israel is not a real country. Why are we lying? We all know Israel functions as a proxy for corruption in U.S. politics and as a group to destabilize the Middle East. Amen, Ator.
So I just don't buy that the opposition to Israel or the insistence on a one-state solution that's never going to happen unless you can tell me how you're going to force a nuclear power to do this. Like, how do I? It just doesn't seem like genuine opposition to the concept of like an ethno state. If
it's not, it's just like weird virtue signaling, like feel good bullshit. And this is the whole reason that me and Hasan started beefing, is because I was like, dude, this whole idea that there's going to be a one state is like so silly. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, it's like not, and it's not because I don't think it's a good I think it would be great if we could go back in time and make like a pluralistic one.
So in this situation, so you think it would have been nice to have a one state, but I don't think it can happen. It's too late. So I'm just going to support it the way it is. So I'm sorry, man. I can't talk to someone. I can't have someone in my circle of friends or in my life that thinks it's okay that something like apartheid can't change because it's been too long. Well, I mean, look, they've had the system in place for a while. It just can't change anymore. That doesn't make me a bad person, but that's what the Zionists tell themselves. They have to convince themselves that they're not wrong. But yeah, it's been too long, so that's why we can't do it. Of course, that's why. And then they run with it. They run with whatever crumb makes them feel better about the crimes they know they've committed. That's why they have this fear that, like, if Palestinians come back, they're gonna want to kill us. Like, there's no way they're not gonna want to, because in their minds, they're like, why wouldn't they? Right? Like, we've done such horrible things to them. We've stolen their land. We've murdered their people. We've genocided them. We've burnt their crops. We've done everything. If we were in their shoes, I'm speaking in the mind of an Israeli, if we were in their shoes and we were led back into Palestine, for example, and we were told to share the land, we would have killed them for what they've done to us. So they're always shocked. That's why they have this fear that, like, the Palestinians are going to kill us the first chance they get, because deep down they kind of know that they deserve revenge. They kind of know it. I'm not saying that would be right, and I'm not saying that the Palestinians actually want to do that, but like, Israelis are so paranoid, and they know the crimes that they've committed, man. They fucking know. So they just can't understand why a Palestinian wouldn't just kill them for what they've done to them. But at that point, Palestinians just want to get their lives back, man. Palestinians just want their land back. They just want a chance to build a home and have a fucking life and not live in an open-air prison. But for Israelis, because they live with this guilt constantly, they carry this guilt, but they don't know that it's guilt, really. So they do all of this shit. They do what Ethan's doing, and they crash out.
State for all types of situation, but it's just not happening. It's gone. That ship has sailed.
So what? So just support the apartheid? The ship has sailed, so I'm just going to support what's happening now, the ethnic cleansing, and then he'll be like, well, the settling is bad. And I've called what's happening in Gaza a genocide, and I don't like Netanyahu. Okay, but you still support not allowing Palestinians to come back to their land? You still support all of these fucking laws that don't give Palestinians the same right to Israelis, and you still want to stand there and tell me it's not an apartheid, or that you want me to think you're a good fucking person? I'm sorry. I'm going to say you're a shitty person. But then when someone calls you a shitty person for supporting Israel, don't fucking sue them. Don't get upset. But that's a problem with Ethan. He tries to convince people that it's actually okay to like Israel. And then when people tell him, no, it's not okay, and then criticize him for it, he loses his mind and starts to sue them. That's his MO.
I mean, and by the way, there are, again, people forget, there are like 2 million plus Palestinians that do already live in Israel and are integrated. But
of course, he has to mention that. Of course. Integrated, they live in Israel, 2 million. They live just like us. They have the same rights, of course.
Someone in my chat just now said, Hutch, can you name one single of those countries that made any of their minorities stateless or stole land from one of those minorities? Just one. I wonder if you have thoughts on that, Ethan.
Well, I mean, didn't the Arab countries were settled? Listen, I'm not a historian, but they were all settled like a long time ago. Whereas by the way, guys, I'm not defending the settlement of Israel. If you want me to do that, I'm not.
I thought you were going to jump in and point out the fact that hundreds of thousands of Jewish people were expelled from countries like Iraq, Egypt, Jordan. Yeah.
I mean, about eight.
Lemon Mint Cat with a $2 donor says it equally feels like oppression. It's a you problem. If equality feels like oppression, it's a you problem. That's the thing. That's the thing. They're constantly oppressed. They're always oppressed, Lemon.
To 900,000 were, right? Following the war for the Israelis' war of independence, or I guess the Nakba, depending on your perspective, right? And so
a lot of Jews were kicked out of Arab countries, but a lot of Jews also willingly left so they can go steal land in Palestine. It was a coordinated move by Europeans to get all the Jews to leave these Arab countries and to go find homes in Palestine. They were promised land. You're going to get land. You're going to get this, work opportunities. It's a fresh new country, folks. Come on over. So a lot of Jews willingly left. And then some Arab countries were increasingly angry at what Israel had done, kicking out Arabs, killing Arabs, leading to migrant crises in some of their countries. So they're like, you know what? Out of spite, they did kick out some Jews. That did happen. And that is fucked up. We can recognize that. But it's also, the number is also overblown by Israelis because they want to be opportunists about the situation. They literally, it was a whole program designed to get Jews in the area to leave Arab countries and move to Israel to start settling it.
When I asked Hasan, where should the Jews of Israel go if they don't feel safe there in like one state, he literally told me, and people forget this, he literally told me they should go back to Iraq.
Yeah. Which was an especially insane country to point to, given the circumstances.
Yeah, no, I think Arab Jews that were kicked out, fucking stay in Israel, dude. It's fine. I'm not telling people to leave. Well, who I'm telling to leave is like whoever's just moving to Israel now, like Americans and Europeans, just like white people that happen to be Jewish that just want a free plot of land in Israel and they want to get, you know what I mean? They just want a vacation country to go and party out. Like, no, you guys can fuck right off. But anyone else who's been there for a while, just fucking share the land. Share the land. No one's expecting Israel to fucking disappear. No one's expecting Israel and all Israelis to fucking go back to where they came from. Okay? If someone's been in Israel their whole life, they're just supposed to go back and integrate in like Iraq or something? No, no one's saying that. But let everyone else come back. But they don't want to because they think that the Palestinians are going to kill them the first chance they get because they live with this guilt and they live with this knowledge that they did something horrible and that maybe they do deserve to be punished for what they did. So they can't take the risk. So the only way to stop it is to keep kicking the Palestinians out, keep killing them, keep ethnically cleansing them, keep erasing them. And maybe if they erase enough Palestinians, they could erase their crimes and they can erase their guilt of what they did to them. But they can't because the whole world knows what they're doing. So it doesn't matter how many Palestinians the Israeli government kills. It doesn't matter how many acres of land they ethnically cleanse. We know their crimes because their crimes are going to live far beyond the physical bodies of these Palestinian people that they're killing. We've all seen what they've done. Their crimes have been recorded. Hopefully will be stored and saved and revisited decade after decade so that the world never forgets what fucking happened. But it doesn't matter how many Palestinians you kill, you displace, you move from their homes. It's not going to erase your fucking crimes. And they know it. And they're ashamed by it. All of these Zionists must live with some bit of shame in there that they can't control. They might not know it's there, but it's there.
That surrounded like the expulsion of Jews in that country. It's just that was such a crazy thing to say. Yeah.
Like, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody has any thought for that. If he says, because guys, listen, we gotta reckon. If you actually want to make some progress on this, we gotta reckon with the real situation, right? And the real situation is, okay, you got 9 million people here who own homes and businesses and sky rises and government buildings and subways and buses and tunnels.
No one's telling them to all fuck off. Share the land with the people from who you stole it. Let their families come back. Let their children come back. Let their ancestors come back. Let them come and reclaim whatever bit of their history that they can. You've already taken their homes. Maybe they can find another home and start a new life somewhere else and on their land. Their fucking land. Stop bombing every single country in the vicinity. Stop stealing land from Lebanon. Stop bombing Lebanese people. They've killed 4,000 Lebanese people in the last 3 months. 9,000 since the war started in October 23 with Israel. October 2023. In 3 years, they've killed 9,000 Lebanese people. 9 fucking thousand.
And you want them to either leave or risk, basically becoming minorities in Israel.
There we go. Risk becoming minorities. Risk becoming minorities. Risk becoming minorities. So khalas, that's it. So they have to maintain an apartheid. That's it. So you want them to leave or risk becoming a minority? What's going to happen to them if they become a minority? Why do you always assume that they're going to get killed? Why do you assume are Jewish people in New York getting murdered because they're the minority? What the fuck? I'm a Christian. I'm a minority here in Lebanon. Am I always fucking scared? Some Christians are always terrified that the Muslims are coming for them, but most normal, well-adjusted people understand that it's okay to be a minority. It's fine, man. Look at me. I'm Christian here. No one's coming to fucking kill me. I'm not scared of the Muslims to coming to kill me or Sharia law.
Which historically has not worked out well for Jewish people. And I know Hasan likes to point out to the Ottoman Empire, which the Jews did do well for a time. That was also over 100+ years ago, right? So if you want to revive the Ottoman Empire and give somehow, I don't think Jews would be, I don't know how many Jewish people are in modern day Turkey, if he's suggesting that maybe Turkey taken a bunch of Jews. I'm not sure even what he means when he says Ottoman Empire, because it doesn't exist. It hasn't for a long time.
Real quick, how would you feel about, I think Lonerbox wants to say what's up to you. How would you feel about adding him to the call? Okay. So yeah. I think I would have to start
Lonerbox as well. Holy shit. We got Lonerbox in here now? Lonerbox, dude, nightmare blunt rotation. Ethan Klein, Hutch, and Lonerbox passing a blunt together in Hutch's sepia-toned little studio with a brown couch and the brown floor and the yellow walls and the rotting headphone leather on the top of his head and him rubbing his beard as he's waiting for his turn to be passed the blunt. Ethan's smoking and Hutch is like, are you okay? What's his name? Lonerbox. Are you okay? Are you okay? I can't do Lonerbox. He's like, I could just do Hutch rubbing his beard.
A new DM thread and then call you again.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to end this call and then.
Yeah.
What a non-exciting collab. Ethan Klein, Hutch, and Lonerbox yucking it up online.
Lonerbox. Wait, how do I create a group thread? Create a group. Loner, we're doing this on Twitter.
This is kind of funny to watch. You boys having a party without me?
If Ethan had
my ass getting hungry, y'all. I'm getting hungry. I worked out today, went boxing for the first time in 6 days. It's been good. Did an arm workout afterwards, did some biceps, did some triceps, did some back. Let's fucking go. Need to shove some protein down my throat.
Discord on his phone. For some reason you can only do audio calls, and when I try to hit video call on Twitter for this group thread, it's just not working. So I don't know. I think maybe I got to go back to just me and Ethan. Loner, I tried, buddy. I tried. Tell bug Ethan to install. Wait, now nothing's working. Hang on.
How embarrassing! You get your guest on, then you get your guest to log off so you can bring on another guest, and you can't figure it out. So you told your guest to leave for no reason.
Oh.
Artful, thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Wait, something's happening.
Oh, he fucked up his whole system. Look at that.
Hey, I couldn't figure out how to add loaner. You gotta get a burner Discord account on your phone.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
2026.
I don't do this very often.
Dude killed his whole stream. Look at this. What did you do, man?
Yeah.
I've had this happen to me when I tried to connect my PlayStation 5, and then everything kind of like went wacky.
But so going back to kind of his recent statement that's getting him into all this trouble, it's so easy for him to defend himself to his audience and say, I'm trying to protect Jews, because people are always conflating these two issues. But the thing is, it's not a conflation. Like, by the way he defines it,
Ethan's solution, I think, is for just Hasan to stop talking about Israel, because in Ethan's mind, that's it. Because Israel and Jewish people are so connected, and most Jewish people love Israel, according to Ethan, 90% of them, anytime you talk about Israel, you're just literally, whether you know it or not, you're making it okay for people to hate Israel. That means they're hating Jewish people by proxy. So criticizing Israel basically is criticizing Jews. Most Jews like Israel. You can't criticize Israel because you'd be criticizing Jews. Just stop talking about it entirely. And that's it. They just want to make it impossible for you to criticize Israel, because whatever they want, anytime you talk about Zionism, oh, that's anti-Semitic. Anytime you talk about Israel, that's anti-Semitic. Anytime you criticize, they just want to make it impossible for you to talk about Israel and for you to keep making them feel bad about liking Israel. That's the problem, right? The more you talk about Israel, the more you talk about Israel's crimes, the more you are calling these people out that support Israel, or that are married to an Israeli and that have Israeli family, or that have Israeli citizenship. That's the only thing. Like, why are you making us feel bad about liking Israel? We don't want to feel bad. Let's go back to not talking about it. So we've tried suing people. They're not shutting up. So now it's basically everything is anti-Semitic. Everything is anti-Semitic. That's it. Saying anything. Mark Ruffalo says something about the Ellisons, you're anti-Semitic. Hasan Piker says something about Jews in America. It's better for them not to be so closely tied to Israel. That's anti-Semitic. The whole thing is anti-Semitic. That's it. No more speech. No more free speech. Brought to you by Israel. Let's fucking go. Thank you, APAC.
90% of American Jews are going to be Zionists, but the way he defines it. And again, that's not deflation. Like, by the way he defines it, 90% of American Jews are going to be Zionists, but the way he defines it. And again, that's not to say like that the Jewish people.
Who cares what he defines it as? Why are you so focused on him? Zionism, you know what Zionism is. Use your own definition for it.
So that I know, all of them, including myself, despise the current government and what the settlers are doing and how the government protects the settlers. And
easy. That's the easiest thing. Oh, we don't like the settlers. Oh, we don't like Netanyahu. What about everything else? What about everything else? What about letting Palestinians return? What about sharing the fucking land?
You know, all the wanton death that's happening in Gaza and around Israel. But that doesn't. But that's just you're protesting a government. That's not undoing a state, which is just. It is just not happening. And this was my point from the beginning. It's like, I don't know how these.
Yeah, a shitty point that you can barely make 2 years on. You can barely fucking form a sentence because what you're saying, you know, it makes no fucking sense. You know, it's a contradiction.
How you're advocating for Palestinians when the solution is just erase the state of Israel, because that's not happening. You're not.
That's not the solution. A one-state solution is a solution. You know that. You've had this fucking conversation. You've had a whole episode where he's there talking to you about why a one-state solution is a thing, and you were like, yeah, okay, you've brought me closer to agreeing with you. He never told you to eradicate Israel. One-state solution. Now, if in Ethan's mind, a one-state solution means to eradicate Israel, because Israel is only Israel if it's a Jewish majority, and if you let Arabs come back and Muslims, like, oh no, now it's no longer Israel. Then fucking go and get your land, get the forest land you're stealing in Argentina or whatever. Go take that. Just leave us the fuck alone. I'm kidding. Leave Argentina alone too. Leave Argentina alone. Emma Mimosa sent the super chat. 7 AED. Thank you so much. Says, where are they supposed to go? I don't know. Jail? Right, Emma Mimosa? Sorry for just seeing that. Sorry for the delay. Thank you so much for the generous donut.
Actually doing advocacy, because that's just not going to ever happen. I don't understand.
I think it makes the public discourse about this issue just so much dumber, because it's not a serious proposal. but he's convinced millions of people at this point that it is. And so there's, again, just I reiterate the point that they think they're fighting a war that's been over for decades. And so how can we get to a conversation about real solutions if they're insisting that you have to adopt their view as far as like what should be done when it's just not possible?
You're straight up lying about an apartheid state not being an apartheid state. How could we even have a conversation at this point?
And so it's just, and if you don't adopt their view, you're an ultra Zionist, and you want every Palestinian to be killed. Like they draw these lines in the sand and then like tar and feather you in the public square.
No, Ethan is okay with just a few Palestinians being killed. Not all of them, but just a few. Just enough for there to be a Jewish majority, no matter what. Like, what's the difference, man? Khalas, guys. It's just give it a few years and then a few decades, and hopefully this will all be done.
If you try to handle this conversation with any nuances.
Nuance, yeah, of course, nuance. There's no nuance. Hey, Muffy nuance in genocide. There's no nuance in ethnic cleansing. There's no nuance in killing kids and women. There's no fucking nuance. There's right and there's wrong. There's the aggressor. There's the fucking victim. There's the person doing the genocide and there's the person dying from the genocide. Muffy nuance. There's no room for nuance when something is so fucking obviously right or wrong. Are you fucking shitting me, dude? Israel is the biggest, most mustache twirly villain we've ever fucking seen in our lives. The most obvious antagonist in the situation. The easiest fucking thing to say is like, yeah, this is right, this is wrong. There is no fucking nuance. It's not a nuanced conversation.
Isn't even the right word, but just like a touch of realism, right? Then you become an enemy of the movement. And that's, again, just kind of what happened to me. And then, but so again, Hasan, what he's saying to his audience is, I don't hate Jewish people. Actually, I love Jewish people. And that's why I think we should never conflate Jewish people with Zionism. And his audience believes him.
Yo, Bubba Trunk with a 75 AED dono. Thank you so much. That's so kind and so generous. Holy shit. Says, can't wait for Israel to leak my video with Trump. Bubba, what did you do? What have you done, Bubba Trunk? What is Israel going to leak? We can't have that happening. And thank you so much for the generous support. We very much appreciate you. It's fucking awesome. Thank you. Debbie's in the chat for Bubba Trunk, folks. I, for one, would want to watch that video, Bubba.
And then because he spends the whole time convincing him that there's so many good anti-Zionist Jews out there, and he brings them on his broadcast all the time, and he talks about them all the time. Jews that reach his super high goal.
He's so angry and he's so bitter about these anti-Zionist Jews. He keeps pretending that there's a lot of them. There aren't. I know. Trust me. I'm Jewish. He brings them on and parades them around like, my guy, dude. He has such a hard time believing that not everyone is a piece of shit like he is. Not every Jewish person is a fucking raging fucking Zionist. He can't believe that. And he's angry that Hasan is offering people this other view of like alternative Jews, of different Jewish people that don't hate Israel. So again, because he can't make himself feel better, because he knows that what he's doing is wrong. He knows that he's supporting a genocidal fucking state, no matter what he says. But oh, I don't agree with the genocide and I don't like these settlers, but you still think that Israel should exist the way it does. So when he sees other people setting an example of how you could be, of how you should talk about this as a Jewish person, he's like, well, there aren't that many anyways. And Ethan and Hasan just brings them out and like misrepresents what being a Jewish person is. So like, there are literally Jewish people out there trying to rehabilitate the image of, like, if he says that anti-Semitism is on the rise because people misunderstand Jewish people, well, there you go. You have some awesome fucking Jewish people that are out there being like, hey, we're not all like this. We're not all genocidal fucking freaks. That makes him angry. That makes him mad. He doesn't like that.
Baseline of Zionism, and his audience believes him. Then you become an enemy of the movement. And that's, again, just kind of what happened to me. And then...
But that don't happen to me. Became an enemy of the movement. Yeah, because you kept fucking insisting that Israel had a right to do what it was doing.
But so again, Hasan, what he's saying to his audience is, I don't hate Jewish people. Actually, I love Jewish people. And that's why I think we should never conflate Jewish people with Zionism. And
yeah, what's wrong with that?
His audience believes him. And And then because he spends the whole time convincing them that there's so many good anti-Zionist.
Because he spends so much time convincing them that there are so many good non-Zionist. I mean, there are some really fucking cool non-Zionist Jewish people out there. Jewish Voice for Peace, people that have gotten arrested, people that are speaking out vocally, publicly against this. Why can't you be like them, Ethan? Why'd you have to be a piece of shit? Why'd you have to be a Zionist fucker who's like, well, actually, Israel needs to be a Jewish majority state. Otherwise, the Israelis will be a minority. Then they'll get killed. Really?
Zionist Jews out there, and he brings them on his broadcasts all the time, and he talks about them all the time.
Well, if he's bringing them on this, if he's finding all these non-Zionist Jews to come on his broadcast all the time, I thought there weren't any of them. If he's finding all of these people and bringing them onto his show, maybe there are more than just a few, Ethan. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the fucking problem, you know? Maybe it's not those anti-Zionist Jews that you're complaining so much about. Maybe it's fucking freaks like you and your wife.
Jews that reach his super high baseline of being anti-Zionist, which is just like, you have to be like the most kind of, you know.
My guy, I ain't fucking with anybody if they're not anti-Zionist. They can be Jewish, they could be Muslim, they could be Christian. If you're not anti-Zionist, if you're a Zionist, Jew, Christian, Muslim, I don't want to deal with you. Zionism, again, should not be tied to a religion. Zionism is a way of thought. It's a way of life. But it doesn't have to be tied to religion. It is religiously based, I guess. Like it's tied to a religion because it is their movement. It was started by one religion, sure, but you can't apply it to everyone. I don't want to communicate with any Zionist person. Christian, if there's family of mine that is Zionist, I want to keep my interactions with them at a minimum. If they're Zionist friends of mine, I want to keep my interactions with them at a minimum. If they're Zionist content creators, I don't want to collaborate with them. Do you understand? There's a difference.
You basically have to be pro-Hamas. I mean, it's really like that, right? You have to be willing to like carry water for Hamas. And so he can.
You got to be pro-Hamas. Again, it's that extreme. He can only talk in extremes. And then he's like, but we need nuance. There's no nuance. But if according to Hasan, you have to love Hamas. But I need more nuance. Yeah, what do you want? Nuance, Ethan? Or do you want to say that anybody, you have to like love Hamas to prove that you don't like Israel?
Convinced his audience that this is like 50% or more of Jews. But the truth is 90% of Jews have some kind of fondness for Israel. And so.
Okay, then it's time to do some fucking self-reflection and stop having fondness for Israel. If 90% of Jews have a fondness for a genocidal fucking state, it's time to read a fucking book. Pick up a fucking history book. But I refuse to believe that 90% of Jews are fucking psychotic.
So what he's doing is fomenting, I believe, violence and hate towards Jewish people, because he's basically giving people the green light. He's creating a system of consent for
hating Israelis. Yes, the country that is currently genociding Palestinians and Lebanese people, ethnically cleansing South Lebanon, stealing our land, destroying our olive trees, destroying our nature, destroying our GDP, flying drones all over the fucking country.
Anti-Semitism, like systemic anti-Semitism, where it's just, if you like Israel, you are a fucking, baby killer. You're enemy.
You're at least okay with it. If you like Israel, you're at least okay with baby killing, or you can justify it. You can find something to say to justify it in your head. Like, well, look, I don't like baby killing, but like, what were they supposed to do? They were using them as human shields, or it's just collateral damage. I'm against baby killing, but in this case, what were they supposed? They need to get revenge for October the 7th, whatever the fuck it is. Tell yourself whatever it is you need to fucking hear to justify the all these fucking murders.
And I mean, he said of my own wife that she was a valid military target because I forget the exact words. He said, even if your favorite podcaster's wife, who's just a secretary, or I don't remember, but he really is creating a whole consent structure to do violence on Zionist people. And then
we're going to do violence on Zionist people.
Tricky way of convincing his audience that not all Jewish people are Zionists, even though by his definition, 90% are. So I don't know that his audience will ever understand really what's going on. And it's. I mean, I've tried to have these conversations with him, and I mean, the result of it is apparent. And I know exactly.
My God, when he came on your show for a debate, you were a fucking rude little piece of shit. Horrible fucking host, not letting him get a word in, interrupting and being a fucking petty asshole. So you did not try to have these conversations in good faith anymore.
How this is going to play out. People are going to clip it on Twitter. I don't care at this point because it's already happened to me 1,000 times, but they're going to clip me on Twitter saying like Ethan supports, Ethan even now supports the state of Israel or whatever, you know. And
I mean, you're literally calling a guy to talk about why Israel, you know, why people should be okay with Israel and why they should accept it. Like, that's what you're fucking doing. That's what you've been doing for 2.5 fucking years, you pathetic little fucking asshole. You've been doing the rounds, trying to because again, I don't even want to fucking say it, dude. Fuck it.
And you know, the whole cycle of Ethan being a Zionist renews, right?
Well, it's all free when he says, "Oh, I'm saying this to help protect Jewish people." I think if you're familiar with like what his ultimate goal is, and you can read between the lines of the stuff that he says, I think it's obvious it's not about that at all. Like when he says,
what is it about? He wants to hurt Jewish people, or he's trying to get some Jewish people to maybe wake the fuck up and stop supporting a genocidal fucking ethno-state.
You got to separate Zionism from Judaism. I don't think the goal is combating anti-Semitism. I think the goal is poisoning the concept of Zionism. Like that's the ultimate goal.
Poisoning the concept of Zionism, because Zionism is such a pure, beautiful, nice little thing. Oh, it's just the Jews want a homeland. Isn't that beautiful? Can't we all just get behind that?
Like you want to separate yourselves because like Zionism is this ethno-supremacist Nazi ideology. And if you don't do that, then, you know, hate crimes are going to happen or whatever.
Yeah,
and so it is
basically he needs to provide some kind of logical structure for people to be like openly hateful and racist, but to also make it something that feels virtuous. So he's created like hating Jewish people into
very cool. Yeah, we've created a nice, socially, publicly acceptable way of hating Jewish people while making it seem like we're good people and we're activists standing up for a, you know, for a people, for the Palestinians. Maki, chill out, buddy. So that's what this is what this is all about. Okay, just giving us an out, giving us a politically correct way to be anti-Semitic, to be bigoted. Nice.
Virtue. And they really believe that.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is
basically he needs to provide some kind of logical structure for people to be like openly hateful and racist, but to also make it something that feels virtuous. So he's created like hating Jewish people into a virtue, and they really believe that.
Dude, the fucking fan fiction that this guy, that Ethan Klein is fucking doing in his own head is fucking nuts, dude.
It's something that feels virtuous. So he's created like hating Jewish people into a virtue. And
now apparently hating Jewish people is a virtue. It's always about just being Jewish and about hating Jews. I've said it before. I'll say it a million more times. I wish Israel was not a Jewish country. I wish it was a Christian fucking country so that I could just fucking criticize it without being accused of being an anti-Semite, man. So I could just say, hey, this fucking country that's committing a genocide and that's stealing land, that's fucked up. You can say that about any other country. No one accuses you of being anti-Christian or Islamophobic. But if you criticize Jewish people for murdering Arabs and Muslims, you're an anti-Semite. Look at Simkon B8, and no one's fucking falling for this shit again, dude. Just crawl back into your fucking irrelevant holes, both of you.
They really believe that. Yeah. And that's kind of, and again, not at the risk of sounding hyperbolic, that's how you end up with a country like Nazi Germany when they think that being anti-Semitic is virtuous and they're proud of it. And because, you know, they call them Zionists there too, and they blame them for everything that happened in Europe.
Oh my God. So now who's like Germany? It's not Israel, the country that is actually currently committing a Holocaust. They're not the ones that are like Germany. It's the ones that are against the Holocaust that are like Germany. Make it make sense. Virtuous to hate Jews. We hate Zionists. We hate Israelis. If they happen to be Jewish, I don't give a fuck. They're bombing my country. I don't give a fuck what their religion is. They're killing my people. I don't give a fuck if their name is Yitzi, Muhammad, or Fuad. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they're wearing a yarmulke. I don't care if they're wearing a burqa. I don't care if they're wearing a big fucking cross around their neck. They're killing my people. Do you fucking understand that? I don't give a fuck what religion they are. I don't give a fuck which God they kneel to. I don't give a fuck where they pray, where they worship. They've killed 9,000 Lebanese people since 2023. 9,000 dead. Yes, probably Jews did that, but with the funding of American Christians. I don't give a shit who's doing what. What I care about is the fucking result. Stop making this a religious issue. No one gives a shit. You're not fucking special. Unlike what you've been taught in Sunday school and in Hebrew school, Jews aren't fucking special. You're not fucking special. There's nothing special about you. There is nothing to make me want to hate you more than I hate anyone else. You're not fucking special. You don't deserve your own fucking homeland. There's nothing about you that makes me think more about Jews and wanting to hate Jews in particular. We don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Straight up.
Leading to World War II. It was all the Jews' fault. And now the same people are saying the same thing about Israel and American Jews. Now he's making it even broader. He's really making an effort now to broaden it to American Jews.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been apparent since day.
Dumbasses like your fucking self that's out there any chance you get saying that 90% of American Jews love Israel or have some kind of fondness towards Israel. That means we're all Zionists. Yeah, shut the fuck up, because the more you fucking say that, you're making people assume that every Jewish people they run into fucking loves Israel. And by loving Israel, we assume you love genocide, ethnic cleansing, stealing people's land. So stop fucking making these dumbass fucking points. He was probably talking about idiots like you, Ethan, and your dumbass fucking rhetoric that actually puts Jewish people in more fucking danger than any Palestinian that you're fucking obsessed with, that you think are gonna, if there's Palestinians that are allowed back into Israel, that they're gonna kill you. The shit that you're doing and this fucking rhetoric that you're fucking spewing out, you and your dumbass fucking wife, this is what is putting more Jewish people in danger, believe it or not, than Palestinians being allowed back into Palestine.
One, that it's not enough to oppose like the Netanyahu regime or the wanton violence in Gaza. If you stop short of denouncing Zionism altogether, then there is no daylight between you and someone like Itamar Ben-Gvir. You know, like there's just
no, there's not.
Yeah, right.
There isn't, but there isn't, because you still support an apartheid. You still support some killing. You still support some displacement. You still support some ethnic cleansing, but not as loudly as Israel has been doing it, right? Israel's been doing it way too loud, way too publicly. That makes you look bad. That makes you feel uncomfortable. But when it was on the down low, bit by bit, not publicized by the media, then it was okay, huh? Big Al Cake Mix with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Big Al says, get him. Big Al, this shit's pissing me off. I got to fucking tell you, man.
There's not. That's basically how they see it, through that lens.
Since day one, that it's not enough to oppose like the Netanyahu regime or the wanton violence in Gaza. If you stop short of denouncing Zionism altogether.
Ya Hamad, you donkey. What is Zionism? Zionism leads to the wanton killing of Palestinians in Gaza. It leads to displacement. It leads to settling. Why are they doing it? For fun? They're doing it because of Zionism. Because of the belief that this is their land and they need to own the land, and it was promised to them 3,000 years ago, and it needs to be a Jewish majority state. They're not fucking killing Palestinians for fun, for the heck of it. And oh, by the way, yeah, Zionism is also a thing. Everything in Israel is Zionism. It's called the Zionist Project of Israel. The whole thing is a project. Without Zionism, it crumbles. As it currently is. Zionism is what is holding this fucking country of yours, this sham, together.
Then there is no daylight between you and someone like Itamar Ben-Gvir. You know, like there's just
no, there's not.
Yeah, right.
There's not. That's basically how they see it, through that lens. It is, right? And of course, Ben-Gvir is despised, right? By I mean, he's just the worst. He's the worst among us, right?
Yet he keeps getting reelected. He's despised by, he was going to say by most Israelis, but like, yeah, why is he always getting fucking reelected?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just kind of what I want to say. Like, because when I see all the condemnations of him, I agree with them. They don't really explain the minutia of it. But when I see Hasan responding to it, he's able to spin it so easily to his audience of like, dude, this is just about not conflating. Like, oh my God, it's such a hit job. And guys, we're the virtuous ones and we're misunderstood. And we are the ones that actually care about Jewish people. And he gets them all hyped up on this notion. But it's just the whole framing of it is just, it's just fucked up, dude.
It's like a caricature. Like, it's easier to imagine a human tendency. People need things to be simplified, especially when we're talking about like geopolitics and hundreds of years of relevant history. But so when a lot of people think about like the initial the establishment
Stop trying to make it sound more complicated than it actually is.
of the state of Israel and all the conditions that happen around it, you know, they think about the violence, they think about like the dispossessed, the people, the Palestinians that lost their land, and you know, all of that is of course relevant, and if you're doing historical analysis or whatever, but I feel like a lot of those people just fail to stop and ask themselves, like, okay, imagine you're a Jewish person in Europe in 1947 or 1948, and you're told that if you get on a boat, you can go over to a different place in the world and have your own country. Like, those people in that moment are not thinking about like this ethno-supremacist settler colonial
survival.
Right. They're thinking about the fact that, was it 60% of European Jews were killed during the Holocaust? And so like everybody that's listening to my words right now would have gotten on that fucking boat. And it doesn't make everything that happened, obviously, in 1948 and the subsequent decade.
Hey, granted, it happened. No one's going to go back in time and change it. The person that got on the boat and that went to Palestine to get a house, let his family fucking stay there. Let them fucking stay there. But don't maintain the system that created this country in the first place. No one's telling this guy to go back. It would be nice if they went back. Go back to Poland, bro. I don't give a shit. But what I'm telling you is, Far Twain with the $2 donor says, yo, get AB on this call ASAP. Yo, that would make it more exciting, right? AB, Hutch, Ethan, and Loner Box. Now that's a Nightmare and Blunt rotation right there. That right there. I understand. Look, man, I'm not a fucking idiot. I understand why a European Jewish person might be like, you know what? I want to get the fuck out of here. They tried to Holocaust me, and they're going to try it again. Let me go to this other place that is a safe haven for Jews. I get it. I get it. That person now is either dead or, you know, in their late 80s or 90s or something. Great. They have their family there. All they know is living in Israel. All they know, their whole life is there. No one's telling them to go home. Share the land with the Palestinians that you kicked out to get your fucking dreamland. That's all we're fucking saying. Share the fucking land. Stop the apartheid. Stop the genocide. Stop the ethnic cleansing. Stop trying to justify this shit. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. This shouldn't take 2 years of back and forth. Just fucking understand what's going on.
Or whatever. And even to this day, like the efforts to block a Palestinian state, it doesn't make all of those things okay or acceptable or whatever. But, you know, you should be able to understand that people had completely rational, justified reason, the Jewish people fleeing Europe.
But even if they didn't, honestly, even if they didn't, it just doesn't really affect the conversation today because it's ancient history. Like the American settlers had no justification. They were just fucking insane, murderous, psycho, like Christian. They were Christian or religious supremacists, right? But what was that? 250 years ago, we're not gonna be able to undo that. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, but does America have a law? Like, do the United States have a law that, like, bans Native Americans from, like, coming back to the U.S. if they're anywhere internationally out of a fear that they're going to take over and multiply and spread and one day execute their revenge on the Americans that, like, took their land? No, of course not. Because that's fucking crazy. That would be apartheid. 50 cents, a $5 donor. Thank you so much, 50. That's very kind. Says the Zionists actually largely rejected maligned refugees from World War II and the Holocaust because they were not good enough and not ideological enough. Yeah, I did hear that. They rejected and maligned refugees from World War II and the Holocaust because they weren't good enough and not ideological enough. But that's also not going to stop a few others from being like, hey, you know, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get the fuck out of Europe. Too much trauma here. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want my family, my kids to ever risk experiencing this again. So again, I do understand why someone would get on a boat and fucking go towards the Middle East and get their promised land. But like, again, hey, if they were also, I mean, that's also kind of fucked up. I'm sorry. Like, they just went through a Holocaust, but they were more than okay to make other people go through what they just went through so they can get a house by the beach. Like, also, like, come on.
And we got to deal with that, right? I mean, and I'm in favor of reckoning with it, right? And doing right to the people that were ousted and trying.
So let them come back. He's like, I'm willing to make it right. Just don't let them come back. That's all. You know, what do you want to do? You want to cut him a check?
To create some kind of reparations. I don't know how that looks, but obviously that's so far away from where we are now because
reparations. Look at, he's fucking going. He's like, just pay him. Anything but letting them back. Anything but letting them back. We can, I don't know, some reparations. Maybe we can pay him, cut him a check. Yeah, of course, that's going to happen, right? Motherfucker, just let them back into the land. You fucking Zionist freak, let them back into the land. You supremacist fucker.
Where the conversation is. But at the end, but also kind of what you're saying. I mean, and then the other half of the first inhabitants of Israel were coming from the Middle East because they were being prosecuted and kicked out of their country, like
and encouraged to leave, and leave the Arab country so they can go get their own piece of land. Again, this was a whole movement by the Europeans, by the British campaigns, Zionist campaigns to get Jews to leave countries, to go to Israel, to start populating it, to go to Palestine.
Iraq, for example, and basically every other neighboring Arab country at the time were chased out and sent to Israel because they had nowhere else to go. And that's basically who settled Israel. And again, I don't even think it matters because it's all settled history. It's like it happened already, you know?
Yeah, we have this like post-war.
It happened. You can't fix it now. South Africa. Hey, South Africa happened. They should have just, the blacks should have just taken it.
Kind of like the borders landed where they landed, and they've held for the most part. It's not that there hasn't been any kind of like land disputes since World War II, but compared to every other period in history, remarkably stable in terms of like where the borders landed. And so like we should operate it in that reality and not push things that.
Lemon Mint Cat with the $2 donor. Thanks so much, Lemon Mint. Says right of return and land back. No, Lemon Mint Cat, isn't it better to get reparations? Just pay them a little bit of money. That's what Ethan wants. But yeah, again, they're willing to propose anything except just letting them back in and sharing the land. No way. This is it's their land. That's it. It's the land of the Jews. You can't do anything about it, apparently.
Just have no. It's just I don't know. The one state solution, full right of return, when imposed on a nuclear power like Israel, I don't. It kind of bothers me that it needs to be explained why this is not going to happen. And then the other thing to remember, and this is a point that
right of return on a nuclear power like Israel just bothers me. Why does it bother you? Why? What bothers you about that?
Operate it in that reality and not push things that just have no. It's just I don't know. The one state solution, full right of return, when imposed on a nuclear power like Israel, I don't. It kind of bothers me that it needs to be explained why this is not going to happen. And then the other thing to remember.
Do you think it's right or wrong? Don't explain to me why it's not going to happen. What do you think is right? What is the right thing to do? What is your opinion? As a human being, what do you think? Should Palestinians have a right of return to Israel? Hutchy boy? Furiosa boy?
And this is a point that Loner Box brings up a lot, is that's the least popular proposal for both Palestinians and Israelis.
And I can't blame the Palestinians for not wanting to fucking live with Israelis. Can you imagine? Like, if I were Palestinian, I might prefer a two-state solution just so that I don't have to fucking spend my days next to an Israeli. You open your coffee shop, there's an Israeli coffee shop owner right next to you. You got to fucking sit there and, like, listen to him. Like, I understand not wanting, and forget the Israeli perspective. Imagine Palestinians having to live with their killers, having to look at their killers in the eye and be like, yeah, it's okay. I still want them to get the one-state solution so that they can get access to their whole land, so that people can go to their ancestral homes, their ancestral land, their ancestral family homes. But, like, dude, can you imagine Palestinians having to fucking live in peace with these fucking genocidal Israelis? Like, holy shit.
So funny. And, they don't. That's such a great point. And you see it. The Palestinians don't want to share a state with the Israelis. So
and vice versa. I mean, like there's like these.
Yeah, but the Palestinians have much more of a reason to not want to share. And look, a lot, and it's true. A lot of Palestinians at this point just want any land. Just let us live, bro. Whatever. Two-state solution. That seems to be like the easier solution and the easier route. We'll fucking do that. That's okay. So, but also most of them and most Palestinians do want to get their land back. I'm sorry.
With unequal rights with either Israel or, you know, Palestine controlling the government. And then you have like a two-state solution. And then you have one state with equal rights, and one state with equal rights is the least popular. I mean, like, so this idea that as some Western leftist, like you, like you're going to center your activism. Number one, you're going to center it on what some other countries thousands of miles away from you are going to do, like with their.
Who's funding them, you fucking dumbass? Your politicians. Your tax dollars are funding what's happening thousands of miles away. Ooh. Yeah, you should fucking center that stuff on it. Stop spending billions and trillions of dollars in the region, then they'll stop centering it on there. But as long as you're funding this fucking genocide, yeah, answer for it.
Or peace process or whatever, however that plays out. But then also you're pushing a solution that neither side wants, and it's just so.
Just to feel like morally superior and to feel like you're.
We are morally superior to people who support Israel. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You support a religious ethno state. You support a Jewish majority state that has remained a Jewish majority by killing, ethnically cleansing, settling, not allowing Palestinians to return. If you support that, you are a piece of shit. And I am morally superior to you. 100%. Anyone who supports Zionism is a piece of shit human being.
The real justice fighter online. And it's just like, yeah, exactly. Nobody even wants it. I don't even know what the conversation is happening. And I'm like all for like a one-state solution. I mean, obviously there's a lot of animus now, and it's just
I'm all for a one-state solution, really, because you're on camera, you're on video multiple times after your conversation with Hasan saying that if a one-state solution happens, it's the end of Israel and it's the end of the Jews. Now you're for a one-state solution, ya khara.
What the conversation is happening. And I'm like all for like a one-state solution. I mean, obviously there's a lot of animus now, and it's just not. Now is not the time. But let's say in like 50 or 60 years, or I don't know how.
50 or 60 years, when all of the West Bank is taken by Israeli settlers, when Gaza is full-on a Trump casino, 50 or 60 years, yalla, great. Let's let the Palestinians suffer for another 50 and 60 years until the Israeli Jews are willing to reconsider it. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan, Ethan. Long after Ethan's been dead, because Ethan doesn't want that to happen in his lifetime. Long after Ethan and Eli are dead, that's when it should happen. Literally over their dead bodies.
How long it would take, maybe less, where there's like a relative peace and
yeah,
and you know
yeah, it sounds good.
Comfort with each other, where there's no more conflict and everybody's chill. If you want to make it a one-state solution, then I think that'd be great.
Yeah, they decide that
reunification or something.
If they decide that, you know, jointly as a part of some peace negotiation, it's not like people like you or me have a principled opposition to single statehood. We live in literally the melting pot of the world, where America's superpower has been immigration and attracting innovative, hardworking people. And like, why would we be like opposed to that? That makes no sense. But it's just about like, it's a nice thought right now. And that a lot of times.
But I got to listen to this again. I zoned out for a second. This guy is so boring. He cannot hold my attention at all, dude.
Conflict and everybody's chill. If you want to make it a one-state solution, then I think that'd be great.
Yeah, they decide that
reunification or something.
If they decide that, you know, jointly as a part of some peace negotiation, it's not like people like you or me have.
My guy, what peace negotiate? What Palestinians are going to have no power in 50 or 60 years from now if things keep going the way they are. Hey, yep, who's going to negotiate the peace on their behalf? Who? Where are they going to be living? In 50 to 60 years, at this rate, there will be no Palestine. There will be no Palestinians left in Israel. At this rate, what peace what fantasy are you two fucking idiots cooking up right now?
A principled opposition to single statehood. We live in literally the melting pot of the world, where America's superpower has been
Desiree with a great point says, why are these white people talking about Palestinians who are being ethnically cleansed? Israel is occupying Lebanon now and threatening Jordan, Egypt, and Turkey. Yeah, no, but Desiree, Ethan is actually, you know, from the Middle East. You know, he's Israeli. It's his homeland. So he has every right to talk about it, apparently.
Immigration and attracting innovative, hardworking people. And like, why would we be like opposed to that? That makes no sense. But it's just about like, it's a nice thought right now. And what a lot of times the pushback you get is, well, when you look at the West Bank settlements, like, how do you even imagine a two-state? And it's obviously true that Netanyahu, like, very explicitly, publicly, has taken steps to make a Palestinian statehood harder. That's like been his pitch to voters in Israel, like, elect me and I'll block a Palestinian state. So it's not like there's no.
It's not just Netanyahu, you dumb fucks.
No truth to that, but as like, if you're okay, I understand that's really difficult to imagine. There would have to involve land swaps. That would, I don't even know what the maps would look like. There would be like dots all over the place. But, you know, as impossible as that seems, I promise you the prospect of forcing a nuclear power to hand control of their military, including the nuclear weapons, the people that they've been fighting with for 8 decades, that is 1,000 times more impossible than.
Oh, you're afraid of handing the nuclear codes? So what? So you give the nuclear codes to the Palestinians and they're going to nuke their own country to kill the Jews? Is that your dumbass fucking idea?
It's actually impossible.
Yeah.
And also, I think a lot of when you're talking about the attitude of Israelis,
Ethan, just keep talking about this stuff, my guy. Just keep talking about this because you know what I mean. It's gonna do wonders for the H3 podcast. We're gonna look at the Maki, chill.
they have a very much.
1 sec. The concussion boy is here, folks. This is the boy that gave me my concussion. This is little Makuki. Mike, you want to say hi? Want to say hi? He does want to say hi, folks. Let's go. We're going to take you back. Let's go. Let's go, Cookie. All right.
It's like us against the world mentality. And I think a contributing factor is when they see these types of dialogues happening on Twitter and on
Polish Pusher, hello.
online, and people saying like, oh yeah, they need to, they're all murderers and they all need to leave. They need to go back to fucking Iraq. I mean, going back to Poland is like the like classic, anti-Semitic trope. Go back to Poland. But Hasan actually just put a little tiny twist on it and nobody had a problem with it, which is go back to Iraq. Equally problematic though, and dumb. But they see this discourse and I think it jades them and closes them off even more and makes them think like that, you know.
And by the way, if you're from Poland and Israel and you recently moved there, yes, do go back to Poland. Do go back to Poland. If you're like second or third generation Israeli, you've been there your whole life, fucking stay there. Just share the land, bro. But if you're like, you know, if you've moved to Israel in the past like 5-10 years, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Reasoning or solutions with these people is impossible, right?
Yeah, I think they're writing a story about the world and themselves, and it's a story that very conveniently positions them as 100% virtuous and fighting against the forces of evil. And I assume a lot of that comes from younger people in his audience because you good?
Sorry.
Everything?
Yeah, sorry that people have recognized that Israel is fucking evil and genocide is bad. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think we all want to believe that kind of story about ourselves when we're younger, and then you get a little bit older and you realize, wait a second, like the world.
There's nothing you could do about genocide.
It's just not that simple. And you know, those old notions of like yourself in the world.
Those old notions of right or wrong, genocide being bad, Holocaust being bad. Now that we're older, hey, what can you do? You know.
Change as you grow, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, again, just to make clear, because I know what people are going to say, it's like, I don't think that Israel should be wiped off a map. That's basically my defense of Israel. That's basically where it starts and ends in current day, is that
Israel shouldn't be wiped off the map. Israel, the way it currently exists, should not exist. It should be wiped off the face of the earth, absolutely. And in theory, the concept of Israel, the way it exists as a Jewish majority, ethno-supremacist state that is built on apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and colonialism and imperialism, can't exist. It needs to stop existing.
I don't think erasing Israel is a plausible solution, and you know, I oppose the government and I oppose the radicals there, and I oppose a government as much as you can, right?
But you are a radical by supporting Israel. You automatically become a radical because you're still supporting ethnic cleansing. You're still supporting settlements. You're still supporting a country that is using apartheid to maintain a majority. So you're still a radical. You can't, but that's the thing he doesn't understand. You can't be a moderate Israel supporter. You can't be like, hey, but I'm still kind of a leftist. I'm still chill, right? No. You're supporting like 10 horrible things by supporting Israel, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. Samsung with a €2 donor says, please highlight Mohsen's fundraising link. Yo, thank you, Samsung, for the donor. Thank you. Mohsen's in chat. What up, Mohsen? Okay, I got to find the one, guys. Which of the links is it?
Like I've said, I've gone there. I've voted in elections there against Netanyahu every time. And I've done everything that a person can do to oppose a government. So that's where my stance is. Basically, I just don't think that it's a reasonable... But anyway, the reason I wanted to call was just to explain how what I think Hasan is doing is super dangerous. But he's convinced his audience that being racist and hateful and anti-Semitic is virtuous because he's defined it as just being against Zionism, which is 90% of the, 90% of Jews, by the way he defines it. So, yeah.
Well, I think he's in a tight spot right now. I don't know if you agree, but I think he's in a really tight spot right now because he's now like really directly involved himself in political races that have tremendous national significance.
All right, link is pinned. If you guys want to support Mohsen and his family, go ahead. Pinned on top or the bottom of the live chat.
And he has declared war on the Democratic Party and I would argue to a lesser extent the Republican Party, but he's finding out that the story that he was telling, that his version of politics, you can just do that everywhere in the country and it's going to like energize and electrify the electorate. That's obviously not panning out in the way that he thought, because the people that he's going to war with are fighting back. And
they're fighting back what? By releasing tweets, coordinated tweets that are fucking sent by AIPAC, all of them saying the same brain dead shit. When is this interview gonna fucking end? It's endless.
But he's convinced his audience that being racist and hateful and anti-Semitic is virtuous because he's defined it as just being against Zionism, which is 90% of the, 90% of Jews, by the way he defines it. So.
Oh, he keeps fucking saying that. It's the fourth time he says 90% of Jews are Zionist. Then he says that's the way Hasan defines it. I'm not saying it. That's how he's saying it. I'm not saying it. You're fucking saying it. You keep fucking saying it over and over again. That 90% of Jews are Zionists.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's in a tight spot right now. I don't know if you agree, but I think he's in a really tight spot right now because he's now like really directly involved himself in political races that have tremendous national significance. And he has declared war on the Democratic Party and, I would argue to a lesser extent the Republican Party, but
it's not to a lesser extent, you fucker. It's not to a lesser extent.
He's finding out that the story that he was telling, that his version of politics, you can just do that everywhere in the country and it's going to like energize and electrify the electorate. That's obviously not panning out in the way that he thought, because
my guy, he's proven himself to be right. He already told us. We already know. We weren't waiting for Hasan to tell us, but one of the things that he talks about is that the Democratic Party is practically fully owned by the Israelis. And as soon as someone criticizes Israel or Zionism, look at how quickly they turn with their coordinated messages, the copy-paste fucking tweets, condemning someone and accusing someone of being an anti-Semite for simply criticizing Israel. Or warning Jews that, like, hey, don't link yourselves to Israel, etc. So everything he said has actually been kind of vindicated about how it works and about how fucking useless the Democrats are and how much in the pocket of the Israeli lobby they are.
The people that he's going to war with are fighting back and
they're fighting back because they don't represent the American people's interests. They're fighting back because they represent Israeli interests. That's exactly why he was fighting with them in the first place. Them fighting back was always expected. Maybe not to this degree. Maybe not in coordination with the Republicans. That's what's kind of weird.
His own clips against him and using his own clips to damage candidates that he's trying to help. And yeah,
I mean, he's the most clippable person. I mean, there's so much that this guy has said and done. And I just find it incredible that all these people are willing.
Ethan Klein calling someone the most clippable person is rich. Ethan, motherfucker, there's a whole industry of YouTubers now because of your clips. So you just keep yapping and giving us those clips, Ethan.
To campaign with him. I don't know how to explain it because it seems like such obvious folly to campaign with him. Just even if you think he's a great guy and you know, he's misunderstood and all this, it still doesn't make any sense to tie your campaign to him. And honestly, if Hasan cared about them, he would understand that too.
Yes.
If it wasn't just about his ego, he would also understand that.
100%.
But the truth is, you know.
Yeah, they also understand that by campaigning with Hasan, they get access to his massive fan base. And they get an excited and an engaged and an educated audience that actually understands politics, and he's going to get a lot of support. Okay, no, and Hasan is very savvy. He knows that when it's time for him to retreat, he's going to retreat. He doesn't want to make these guys look bad. He doesn't want to make these guys lose the fucking race. So he also knows he's probably, trust me, he's not going to make any more fucking appearances with el-sayid.
For, you know, for him, it's just about his significance and his importance and his relevancy
and loyalty tests. Like he puts these. It's like very abusive and manipulative when you listen to the way he talks to chat and the tweets that he puts out. But because he puts out these like not so subtle calls for defense, you know, like he'll like prod his audience to get, you're like, I'm not seeing enough motion in these tweets, and he'll send these like really obvious signals to other smaller creators that are trying to get like clout from him, that they need to do a better job defending him. But it's like, bro, you got this. That like,
my guy, he's not asking smaller creators to defend him. He's asking big creators his size to defend him. Who gives a shit if someone like me is defending Hasan Piker? Anybody who's watching me already knows Hasan and already has an opinion on Hasan. He needs the big streamers, the big creators, the big boys to defend him, not the small creators.
That is not the way.
People with actually something to lose, you know? I got nothing to lose because I got nothing to begin with.
To like approach.
I'm not calling you guys nothing, by the way. I love you guys. You guys are my family.
Political races. Like what he should be doing is telling any candidate who might benefit from distancing themselves from him to do that so they can win. That, like, if he actually cared about the outcomes, he would do that. But he sees it as a reflection of him. He sees all these races as like his project. And if they abandon him and betray him or whatever, then that's a concession that his politics are not like as palatable and appealing as he's been telling his audience they are.
What a fucking idiot. You think because 70-year-old Democrats are like calling Hasan Piker an anti-Semite is going to make like his young fans like deterred? Well, that's why we like him. That's why people like him. Because he's not a 70-year-old out-of-touch idiot that will call someone an anti-Semite for simply calling out Israel.
Political races. Like what he should be doing is telling any candidate who might benefit from distancing themselves from him to do that so they can win. That, like, if he actually cared about the outcomes, he would do that. But he sees it as a reflection of him. He sees all these races as like his project. And if they abandon him and betray him or whatever, then that's a concession that his politics are not like as palatable and appealing as he's been telling his
They
audience.
keep winning, my guy. Almost everybody that Hasan has worked with has been winning their elections. They're actually doing really fucking well. Even Fox News called him the kingmaker.
They are.
But somehow he's convinced them all too that, like, because I don't really see a lot of splintering in his audience, that it is about him, like his involvement and like Abdul's campaign is more important. It's the most important thing. Like, it's so obvious that Abdul should disavow, step away from Hasan if he wants to win. It's so obvious, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't Hasan want him to do that? The problem is I can't believe that any of these
Hasan wants him to do that. Hasan understands, my guy. Hasan fucking understands. And the only reason Abdul is in the position that he's in is because of people like Hasan. So stop saying, obviously, Abdul should disavow Hasan. He's only disavowing him because of a fucking pressure campaign, and Abdul is a fucking idiot. But the only reason Abdul got to where he got was because of Hasan's support as well. So what is it like? Is Hasan useless, or does he have too much influence? What are you guys complaining about? Does he have influence or not? Because you guys seem to think that he has a lot of influence. So if he has influence, you understand. You should understand. If you're so concerned about Hasan's dangerous rhetoric, that means you are admitting that he has influence. So just admit that people that are campaigning with him are also benefiting. Otherwise, if he has no influence, why are you both out here yapping about it for 50 minutes?
people are openly associating with him to begin with. The only way I can describe it is if they have like close advisors or interns or I don't know who are like Hasan fans, and they're like telling him how great and awesome this guy is. And they all go, okay, cool, great. He's got a young audience. Let's do it. And I think they're not doing their campaign any favors either. They're all kind of poison pilling themselves by involving him. It's really incredible. And it's also just from a self-preservation point, like you were saying, it's just drawing so much scrutiny on Hasan himself.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a losing. It's going to be a loser for Hasan, and it's going to be a loser for his candidates.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for some candidates to leverage Hasan's clout in a primary if they're trying to boost their name recognition in like a really safe blue seat. But as far as el-sayid went, it's like, okay, you know, maybe Hasan gets a good deal of the credit for like how he got that boost to begin with, just because of the surrounding coverage that happened when Third Way went after.
Like el-sayid won by like a very small margin, so you can definitely point to Hasan's audience as being probably key to him getting that victory
for him. But that's quite a devil's bargain, because a general contest in a state that voted for Trump 2 years ago, that's very risky. And now like Abdul is like even more dug in. So if he pulls the plug now and does a full-throated disavowal, then he
already did the disavowal, guys. He already did the fucking disavowal yesterday. This was filmed I'm pretty sure after that disavowal.
There's a threat of like losing that online grassroots base of support that he's gotten from like the Hasan sphere. And if he doesn't disavow, he doesn't even talk about it, then, well, you're running in Michigan. So like, you know, that's risky. And so the statement that he put out yesterday, I just thought was just really bad. It would have been better if he said nothing at all, because
I agree. Yeah, it would have been better if he said nothing. It was a very like wishy-washy kind of.
Oh, so they don't like they don't think he disavowed him enough. He did not condemn Hasan Piker hard enough, folks.
You know, yeah, it probably would have been better if he said nothing. I agree.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Well,
it's been real interesting. It's been really interesting to watch. And like, I'm not talking about Hasan on the show anymore. I'm trying to focus on making like a fun, entertaining show. I watch Hasan these days.
Well,
it's been real interesting. It's been really interesting to watch. And like, I'm not talking about Hasan on the show anymore. I'm trying to focus on making like a fun, entertaining show.
Too fucking late for that after 2.5 years of obsessing over Hasan day in and day out, suing every fucking content creators that disagrees with you and that criticizes you and that calls out Israel. You now trying to do a fun fucking show? Too fucking late. Your audience is gone, man. The audience is gone. What was your plan? Alienate 2/3 of your audience and then make a show for the ones that are still there? Are you even crossing like 400K now? What is happening here? Let's see. Live. Best friend cheating scandal goes viral. She stole my husband. Okay, that's what we're doing there. James Charles, 300K, 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 400K. 400K, perfectly pure, like little tiny four. So they're hitting 400K again. Oh, this one's at 500K. I haven't seen that. Yeah, but they had to clickbait Perez Hilton's disturbing bloody live stream to get the 500K views here. 400K, 400K, 300K. So yeah, now they're at between 300 and 400K. They used to get 1.7 million, 1.5, 1.6 million, 2 million an episode. Now it's 300 to 400K. So you were saying, Ethan, you were making a fun show, huh? Nice goofs and gaffs. After being the Israel defender for 2.5 years, while you're suing small creators, for simply reacting to your shitty video, you're like, I'm trying to do a fun show. What fun show, man?
I watch Hasan these days, or clips of him, and he's just miserable. He's yelling at his audience. He's yelling at people on Twitter.
He looks stressed. He looks very stressed.
I was watching
and maybe you would be stressed too if anyone knew who the fuck you were, Hutch. No one gives a fuck about you. That's why you're not stressed. You have the whole Republican Party going after Hasan, the whole Democratic Party going after Hasan, people threatening to fucking kill him in chat and on Twitter, and calling him a terrorist sympathizer, and that he's celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk, and that he's an anti-Semite. Yeah, you'd be a little stressed too. If you had some hair, it would be falling out right now.
of him yesterday, and he's constantly doing like this.
And Ethan says, Ethan, you're talking about someone being miserable? You motherfucker. He looks miserable, Ethan. You, who's getting fucking cough attacks and who can't fucking string a sentence together because of all of your stress-induced tics at this point. And I've watched you for years. I know your tics, man. Sitting there fucking paranoid, bitter, angry for 2.5 years. Your show is unwatchable. Unwatchable. Maki? So, you're the one talking about he looks stressed and he looks miserable? Motherfucker, you alienated everyone who fucking watches you.
I don't know if you've noticed that.
The labored size, you mean?
Yeah. It's just not fun to watch, and it makes me realize when I was constantly talking about this shit, how miserable it can be to watch, and that's why I'm just focusing on making my show fun.
Oh, he's realized it. Cool. Yeah, it's fucking miserable, man.
Watching a clip of him yesterday, and he's constantly doing like this. I don't know if you've noticed that.
The labored size, you mean?
Yeah. It's just not fun to watch, and it makes me realize when I was constantly talking about this shit, how miserable it can be to watch, and that's why I'm just focusing on making my show fun and enjoyable, and not
just by talking about true crime all day. By the way, they're just like the true crime podcast at this point. This person killed this person raped this person. Let's have a fun time talking about it.
Not talking about Hasan at all, because I mean, listen, I have nothing to say on the situation, and Hasan is doing.
What else is left for you to fucking say? You just regurgitated the same shit you've been saying for 2 years. What else do you have to say on the topic without sounding absolutely fucking nuts, Ethan? What else do you have to say that you haven't said? Do you have anything new?
A perfect job on his own of forcing himself into terrible positions.
He's making his bed, that's for sure. Well, yeah, I appreciate you calling in and getting your perspective. I think maybe I'm scheduled to have another conversation with you on your show.
Yes. I don't know when is that on the calendar? I don't.
I think it's a week
Next
from
week.
Hutch is going on age 3 after this riveting conversation. They're going to have another one next week.
Today or a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk.
So are you going to talk about Hasan then, Ethan? What's that episode going to be about? If Hutch is coming on the show, what's the theme of that episode if not Hasan Piker?
Fuck dead. And I'll keep watching.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling in. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yep, same. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Take it easy. Hey, I told you guys you wanted me to take that call. Told you guys. I had a feel.
I can't believe I subscribed to Hutch's fucking Twitch so I can get access to this, and then he drops it on YouTube for free. I paid this guy $6. God, it's gonna haunt me forever. Don't worry, I've already canceled the subscription, so it's only gonna be active for until next month, and then automatic gone. Haley D with a $2 donor. Thank you so much, Haley. Says they talk a lot about lawsuits until they lose them. I mean, we're going to watch it. Make no mistake, folks. When Hutch calls into the H3 podcast, we're going to react to it all the way here, folks. If we're going to suffer together, I'm going to suffer through that. That was unbearable. That felt so much longer than it was. Holy fuck. We've been at this for 3 hours. Perfect timing because we're about to end the stream, folks. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. That was so much fun. I might be doing a second stream on Tino's Playroom in about an hour and a half. I'm going to take a break, have some dinner. So I might be back at 10 p.m. Beirut time, a.k.a. 3 p.m. Eastern in the States. For maybe I'll do a small build. Maybe I'll do a members stream on Tino's Playroom. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe I'll build one of those little flowers for the mock. If I want to build my Coruscant Guard gunship, it's going to take like 5 hours to build, and I don't think I can stream that late tonight. I want to try to go to the gym tomorrow, so second stream probably incoming sometime tonight. A chill one, maybe some Dark Souls. Use some time to get a little bit farther in the game. That way, we try to do one final live stream with the boys. Everybody, thank you so much to everybody who donated today. We got 16 new members today, 43 new members yesterday, 16 new members today. That is a total of 59 members. Let's fucking go. 59 members in 2 days. It's everybody who sent in a super chat. Thank you. We appreciate you. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Genuinely cannot do this without you. Members, we have a couple of exclusive live streams for you guys to enjoy. Patrons, you got that fantasy board review episode 2. Hey, Valesco, any thoughts on the PS blackout? What there was it got hacked or something? I'm gonna rest my voice. Hey, Valesco, I don't exactly know what you're talking about. Let me quickly see. What is PS blackout? Sony's recent announcement, blah, 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 sparked significant backlash within the PlayStation community. In response, gamers have organized the PS Blackout, a week-long protest running from August 23 to August 30, during which participants are powering down their PS5s and avoiding purchases on Sony's platform. Oh, that's cool. I support it. Anything to fuck with Sony for what they did, I support it. I'm going to be doing some PC gaming. Polish Pusher with a gifted membership. Let's fucking go. 17 new members today. Polish, that's so kind. Thank you so much for this last second little gift coming in clutch. All right, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. I'm going to go rest my voice. Going to go have some food. Maybe watch a little bit of YouTube. Enjoy, everybody. Much love. It's been fun streaming with you guys these past few days. Appreciate y'all's company. And as always, do not worry. We got a bonus. Another post-credit scene right there. Another post-credit scene. Haley D with a 5 gifted. Haley in Polish coming in clutch at the last second. What's happening? Holy shit. I was just about to click end stream. Haley D with a 5 gifted at the very last second. Haley, that is way too kind, way too generous. Haley, you've been going crazy these past couple of days. Thank you so much for all the generosity, for constantly supporting the channel, and for giving the people a little bit of bonus content. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Haley. And congratulations to everybody who just got gifted a membership. We got 22 new members today. 22. You got it, Haley. Y'all got it. Y'all's got it. You see, Valesco? You see? You know what? We could talk about the PS Blackout a little bit more. I support the PS Blackout. I do, even though, God, yeah, I guess I need to sign into my PlayStation just because the last time I signed in to pre-order GTA, they were like, I had to like re-sign in and whatever because it's been so long. So I don't want to give so much time between sign-ins. But at this point, I'm only playing on PC. I'm mainly PC gaming at this point. The next game I'm going to play on PlayStation is probably going to be GTA. So yeah. All right, everybody. We love you. See you later. And as always, number 2. Do not worry. Okay, y'all are just fucking with me now. Now Polish Pusher just slammed 5 gifted memberships in the chat. We got 2 post-credit scenes. This is a Marvel movie now. This is a Marvel movie. Polish and Haley ping pong it one after the other. 5, you get 5. No, you get 5. No, you get 5. No, you get 5. Holy shit, we got 27 new. I keep updating the memberships numbers. We got 27 new members today. Holy fuck. It's not going to happen again, folks. It's not going to happen again. We're at 417 members. 417. Holy shit. Let me update that. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. That's very kind. That's way too kind. I'm not going to let the credits run this time. I'm just going to end the stream. We can't do this 3 times, everybody. We're just going to end the stream, okay? I'm just going to kill it now. Okay? No more. Thank you, Polish and Haley. We salute you guys. Beloved community members. Moderators. All right, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. I will see you later on Tino's Playroom. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Peace out. And as always, do not worry.